Yo, Fight Fam, what's good? Second little installment of answering your questions, answering your boxing questions. I think I got my boy Chris that's gonna join me in a minute. Help me out. What's happening with everybody, man? What's really good? Just released that Stevenson versus Kansaisar film study today. There we go. Dean Wilson, what's good with you, fam? Wait for some folks to come on in. What's happening to everybody coming in? What up? What up? Them notifications working, huh? Big blunts and boxing. What's happening with you though, fam? Jose Diaz say salute from Miami. What's happening? Stephen, what up? Cortez, what up? Gergov, what up? It's 1 in the morning. I can't keep my eyes open. All right, man. Have a good night, man. CNP was good. Blacklight was good with you, bro. You know what? While folks come in, man, I figure out. Let me just play the latest film study. I wanted to try out. I finally got that YouTube Premium, so we shouldn't see any commercials. Extraordinary. Oh, what's up, man? What up from Chicago? Same. Let's test this out, man. There should be no commercials.
Fight fam, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification. Class is session. Shakur Stevenson versus Robson Kansaisar was a good matchup to round off young Shakur's campaign at super featherweight. Shakur has many wrinkles in which I've covered on this channel. He can fight moving forward, backward, or using lateral
Con
movement
Enigma,
as
what's
well
up?
as at any distance. Kansaisar was more of a boxer puncher who controls range from the outside, where he counterpunches and likes to throw combinations. In past film studies, I've noted that Shakur doesn't have many glaring flaws evidenced by his place on the plus minus list and how little he gets hit per round. With that said, I've mentioned Shakur leaves his hand in the sling when he shoots the lead cross using the Philly shell, which leaves him open as any other fighter who drops the lead hand when throwing the backhand. And Shakur actually gets caught to the body pivoting out once it's time to change angles while moving backwards with his back nearing the ropes. As well as in the normal Philly shell, that body shot to the lead side is just a common opening. In his latest fight versus Oscar Valdez, Valdez was landing a lead cross on a more consistent basis than any other Shakur opponent has landed anything. While Shakur controls distance amongst the best in boxing and also has amongst the best reflexes to pull, he hasn't displayed a great amount of head movement as it pertains to changing head slots. Shakur ended up relying on his reflexes to pull across at the last moment. However, Kansaisar pushes his backhands and crosses that aren't aimed for the body. His backhand flails up and ends up forming the start of a forceful high five before he pushes it from the elbow to the target, a definite technical form issue that ensures the fist doesn't turn over, so it creates more of a push or a downward slap when the elbow locks at the end.
Crazy to have that problem at this level. Yep. Jose, no power behind it at all.
Kansaisar often utilizes a false step for a quick change in rhythm on his jab and jab setups. There's a few issues. Many times he is unaware of distance and ends up stepping where he doesn't need to and throws a single mid range jab. Sometimes he starts wide and ends up well beyond balanced on the step.
Like we look good on these commercials so far. Shit works.
Kansaisar throws very wide lead hand hooks. Unlike a technically sound cross from a high guard, wide lead hand hooks fit directly into the type of punches that Shakur's reflexes and step
Ah,
back game are most efficient against.
there he goes.
Change the tide.
Yo, yo.
What up? Hey, I'm just testing out my YouTube whatever red or premium. I finally got that.
Oh, okay.
We don't get no commercials. But right after this, we get into it.
I got you.
Unfortunately for Kansaisar, he hasn't fought a southpaw relative to the level of Shakur since the amateurs where he fought Lomachenko amongst others. Although it was a sad performance, for now, it's just important to point out that Robson's experience as a professional in the open stance is limited, to say the least.
Hassan was good with you, bro.
Last but likely most impactful, Kansaisar is yet another Stevenson opponent who defaults and relies on the high guard. While he slides in and out of range with the high guard when he's at his best, it's still an inactive high guard that has plenty of holes.
Maintains control of this fight. On the outside, Kansaisar is fantastic. Weakness in Kansaisar's game.
Uppercut and the left hook, and Martinez was able to get. Martinez comes with a lead left hook of his own.
Back or counter. Even in the inside, he never loses form.
Double jab trying to split that guard and find an opening. Martinez
changing outside. Martinez consistently, and right now in the last round and in this round,
because of the experience that he's faced. Oh, there it is. Ooh. And this is why, because Oscar Valdez does have that devastation. You're in your opponent's hometown. He's the world champion. The onus is.
While Kansaisar does switch up his guard ever so often, he tends to always shield up at some point. Plus, when facing southpaws, the lead hand is aligned, so it's likely Kansaisar shields up due to that immediate threat as evidenced in the amateurs.
Championships in 2010 and 11. He's one perfectly oiled machine in the ring, and it shows in this tournament. He stopped his man with a vicious liver shot, but a nice shot by Lomachenko seemed to buckle Robson just a bit. Left to the body or right to the. Here comes Vasil.
Peel.
Continuing that he was not comfortable with.
Just get beat up in a high guard.
Already covered on other Shakur Stevenson films.
Really no point in being in a high guard.
Through a myriad of tactics and maneuvers, Shakur toys with high guard.
Unless you're using it as a bait.
Montage of
Or worst case scenario, you got really badly hurt.
Yeah, yeah. Or you're on the rope somehow and you're trapped and you need to use it. You know what I'm saying? Just to quickly block some shots and get out. But other than
Right.
that, other than that, yeah.
Letting the high guard speak for itself.
A lot bigger than Oscar Valdez. This is outboxing and being slick and moving away. That's not the case right now. Lands with that right hook. Goes. Some judges are scoring the fact that Oscar Valdez is coming for. But then Valdez allows Shakur Stevenson. Is going to be down 5-1 alone, to your point, as Stevenson is the rangefinder. He's looking for the uppercut and the combination left hand. Wow, domination.
And then there's the issue of trying to use a high guard as a bait. If you can't read your opponent's offense, you might try to react to the wrong thing
Right.
and get caught yourself.
Well, right, and that's one thing Shakur purposefully does. I mean, he occupies the high guard before he throws power, so it's a lot of probing shots first. You're not
Right,
typically gonna release from a high guard right at mid range to try to counter or do anything else. I mean, the only thing you can really do is slide out, and a lot of these fighters just don't do it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the occupying a high guard is just the main staple to this whole attack. Keeping a
yeah,
shields,
probes.
Surprise,
yeah, keeping the
surprise. I
shields
like
where they are.
Shakur
Go ahead.
Stevenson to beat Robson.
Yeah, I mean probes. I think people really underestimate having a softer approach to how you box or how you fight. Period.
Hmm.
Because a lot of people want to, go hard in terms of throwing power but I mean probes is very hard to counter a probe per se.
Right,
Because it's like in the back of your head are you wondering, is he setting me up?
right,
So you're not really inclined to just counter a probing shot because you might run into something yourself.
right. Yeah, I've talked about the concept of committal and non-committal. I mean, committal being, you know what I'm saying, you're loading up your shot. It's coming off the back leg if it's a backhand shot, or a committal jab is off the back leg. But non-committal is probing. You know what I'm saying? You're not shifting your weight to do it. You know what I'm saying? So so what ends up happening is you're already still balanced to evade or counter, you know what I'm saying, and all that other shit. So yeah, that's I mean
Right,
that's the difference. Now, if you counter a probe, your opponent might be ready for it. It might be a bait where, you know what I'm saying, a non-committal bait where he's still balanced enough to load aside real quick and counterpunch.
right. And at that point, it's more of a lead punch than it is anything like a counter. You know,
Hmm.
you if you try to slip and then throw a right hand, it's more of you trying to lead with the right hand than it is you countering a probe then shooting.
Right. All right, man. Let's get into it, man. Um, let's get into it. Oh, okay. Give me a second. Tony, what's happening with you, bro?
Hey, boxing gems. I have a question for all three, all of you guys. I'm a big fan of like guys like Virgil Ortiz, uh, and stuff like that. And people
All right, all
bash.
right. Give me a quick second. All right. So I guess Tony's gonna kick off the questions. Um,
Okay,
did I hold on for a
Why is
second?
it that people?
Hold on for a second. Let me see if it's anything in the comments I missed so far. I don't think so. All right, go ahead, Tony.
I'm a big fan of the style that Virgil fights, like these come forward guys and stuff like that. And people bash them and compare them that style to guys who like, for example, like a Devin Haney or something like that, or a Shakur who rely on their footwork a lot. And in general, that come forward style really doesn't rely on heavy footwork. Why is there hatred for that type of style, like that come forward style?
Oh
As
well, I
like,
couldn't, I couldn't, I couldn't answer why there's hatred for anything in the boxing ring. It just doesn't make sense to me. But if I was training a fighter, he'd be able to come forward. He'd be able to use lateral movement. He'd be able to fight walking backwards. there's nothing wrong with Virgil's quote
No,
unquote
but
style and
people,
skill set.
no. But what I hate is they're comparing his style, like they're comparing his footwork to Devin or Shakur, who are natural boxers. Uh, Virgil is not. I'm not saying he's not a good boxer, but he's not a natural defensive first guy who tends to rely on their footwork and lateral movement a lot. These come forward guys really don't like that style. Doesn't rely. You guys agree with me? That style rarely relies on heavy footwork and stuff like that. That's why they look so heavy on their feet. Like they're very planted. Like,
Yeah,
do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, but I don't know if that applies to Virgil Ortiz because
Unfortunately,
Virgil Ortiz definitely gets to use a dynamic footwork when he creates angles while he's walking forward as well. So it's like I mean I don't know. You might just be describing people that don't watch enough boxing to know what they're talking about.
No, these are hardcore boxing fans. They say this. BG, that's
Well, I
why.
mean, now, okay, a lot of hardcore boxing fans don't know what they're watching. I mean, I could show here, I could show you clips of the man, you know what I'm saying, walking
some networks
forward,
don't allow
creating
their fans.
dynamic angles, to attack, to defend, all that shit. So, hold on for a second. Chris, you got something on it?
Well, I mean, I'd say it's also the psychosis of boxing fans in terms of you know their ideas of what style is preferred, what fits best, and it's not about styles; it's about being educated about the sport. You're gonna have boxers that are going to exhibit a certain system of fighting over others for whatever reason that may be. It was how they were educated and how they choose to utilize those skills in the ring. But it's all a system. Virgil's system, being able to be effective with his power punches and to set up his punches, um, would require him to be close. But I would imagine that he could employ a different system of moving around, lateral motion. He does take back steps. He's not. It's not like he's not privy to that. He can reset a guy's work with footwork. So I mean, a lot of it boils down to who's saying these things. You really got to have a conversation, and as you begin to kind of get that information out of them, you might start to have a light bulb pop up in your head like, oh, these guys don't know anything about
Right,
the technical X's and O's of the sport.
Yeah, no,
right.
and
Nah, okay,
you know what it is.
real quick. Let me show you this. I'm gonna just play it in the background while you talk. But go
Okay,
ahead.
and when I look at Virgil, also like when he was in the pros, like when he was in the amateurs, he was a great boxer. But when he went into the pros, it seemed like he was so infatuated with his power that you overlooked how good his footwork is. Do you guys agree?
No, it
His
depends on who's
power,
talking. I mean, it depends on who you're asking. I mean, yeah, power doesn't really. I could probably speak for Chris and say power doesn't impress him. Power doesn't impress me.
yeah, I agree to that.
One step fight, walk around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Step arounds, angles, uh, forward shuffles, shifts. I mean, I seen Virgil do it all.
Well, would you say his footwork is kind of like Nelo's footwork, like
Nah,
that? That
Canelo doesn't have nearly as
No,
many dynamic angles he steps to at all. I mean, Canelo's footwork is pretty damn flat-footed always.
Oh, his is pretty basic, almost.
Canelo's, yeah, yeah. You seen Canelo? I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. It's good, but it's not. It's pretty. It's pretty plain Jane.
Actually, you know whose footwork he reminds me of? Virgil. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Oscar. Like Oscar. Oscar was the same.
Maybe,
Do you
maybe.
see that,
But
Kristen?
all right. Let me get to. Hold on. J Dope's good with you.
Hey, J
Hey,
Dub.
hey, what's going on? What's up? Salute to you, Boxing Gyms. This is my first time calling in. I've been subscribed to your channel for a little bit, man. Excellent work.
Appreciate that.
just to counter the man that just spoke. Look, man, pretty much I'm pretty much a hardcore fan. I don't break it down as well as someone like a boxing gyms does, but brother, people get criticized on both ends, man. So you got people that utilize footwork like Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney, and what do most people say? A lot of people say that don't really know boxing, and some people that do know boxing, what do they say? They have one word to describe that footwork. What do they describe it as?
Boring.
Yes. So the criticism is going to come. You prefer, maybe you're a fan of Virgil Ortiz. I think he's a great fighter too. I think he's a really good fighter. I don't want to say great yet. He's a really good fighter. But he comes forward more. So you're going to get criticism on one end, and just like you have Shakur Stevenson, some people say he runs, which we know that's not true. He has his footwork is amazing, pretty much. So it's just what people prefer, man. So just because your favorite fighter gets the criticism, it just is what it is, bro. This just is what it is.
Well, let me just say this, man. I definitely can't answer questions for other people. I that's not how I feel. That's not how I'm pretty sure that's not how Chris feels. Uh, yeah, that's just not a question for us.
Yeah, no, the yeah. Thanks for answering that question because I've always I get in arguments with people all the time, like who are Shakur Stevenson fans, saying that Virgil's overrated, he's trash, he doesn't deserve the hype he's getting, and stuff like that. And I'm like, why do you guys? Was it? Where's this hatred coming from? Is it because you guys hate Oscar and you're putting your hate for Oscar onto this kid, which is unfair? Like that's what.
Yeah, I got you, fam. But you know what? I don't know, man. But let me move on to the questions in the comment section though.
Okay.
All right. Um, does watching a lot of boxing videos, say tutorial videos, help your IQ? And if not, what will help my IQ in boxing? Um, all right, I know my answer to that. Chris, you wanna tackle that? Chris, you still with me? All right. Well, look. So it depends. It depends on the on the tutorial video, man. I mean, boxing is a system. So in my opinion, boxing IQ is just the knowledge you have of the system. So basically, you look at a stance. You could tell basically what a fighter wants to do by the way they're standing, by the way their weight's balanced. You look at, okay, a fighter throws a jab. Okay, what are the openings around the jab? What are the tenets of a jab, a good jab in the first place? Um, you know what I'm saying? It's just on and on and on. So any video, so say, excuse me. So say there's a tutorial video that tells you all the counters to a jab. Then yeah, I think that could improve your boxing IQ. You know what I'm saying? All the counters to a jab, how to slip a jab, um, if there's an outside slip, you know what I'm saying? What punches are open? If the inside slip, what punches are open? I think things like that could improve your boxing IQ. Chris, you back with me?
Yeah. I got randomly disconnected.
Oh, okay. You want to answer this question? Did you or did,
Just
did you hear
watching a
my?
lot of boxing videos. No, I didn't hear anything. I got disconnected like before we got to the
I was just
question.
basically saying. Boxing is a system. So in my opinion, boxing IQ is just knowledge of the system. So it depends on the type of tutorial video. Is it a tutorial video telling you about weight balance and in a stance, or say a fighter throws a jab, it's a tutorial video telling you all the ways to counter a jab, or what I'm saying, you slip this way, these punches are over, you slip that way, these punches, you know what I'm saying? It depends on the tutorial video.
Yeah, it depends on the content of um, what you're watching. Like, what's the basis? Are you learning a move? Learning a move is a lot different than actually learning a system, which you get to see the system in play. You can see it from training videos. You can see it within film study for fights, and that's being able to look at the system of techniques that are employed to have a certain outcome. There's a certain purpose for why they're being used. For instance, like Floyd Mayweather Jr., when he will be on the ropes, has a system of he'll duck and buck, meaning he'll duck, bump you off to get spacing into lateral motion. So how do you break down the techniques of how to be able to use that system of getting off the ropes? So there's learning how to duck, there's learning how to buck into someone, then there's learning how to use lateral motion to move out. So those are three different techniques that you will learn that compile into a system that will accomplish the end goal of being able to get off the ropes and to reset a man's work. So it
Right.
depends, like you said, is absolutely right. Depends on the video and the basis of what's being taught. Is it a technique or is it a system?
Right. Yeah, facts. Hey, J Doe, did you have a question for us, fam?
I don't at the time, brother, and I'll drop off. I just wanted to get in on that on the
Oh
last
yeah.
caller.
Yeah, no, it's all I mean, it's all good. You could stay if you wanted. But yeah, I was just wondering if you had a question since you
And,
came on.
and I may have one in real soon, but not
Yeah,
right now.
just do your thing. Just stay on mute until you have a question or matter of fact, if you're gonna stay on, I might ask you to chime in on something. I don't feel like answering like a fantasy fight or something.
Absolutely.
All
For
right,
sure.
bet. All right. How would you counter someone getting a T line on you in boxing when the opponent has an opposite stance and has moved to the outside of your lead foot? So you don't counter. Well, you counter the move, but you don't exactly counter. Um, uh, so preferably your pivot, you're probably ducking and pivoting away and pivoting out, or actually it's an inside pivot at that point. But there's no you don't want to counterpunch somebody or try to punch somebody that's got that weak side angle on you. Not, I mean, that's the point of a weak side angle. So if it's your backhand, you're going to be swinging across your body, across your center line. Your lead hand is just out of commission because that's where the opponent is. It's either smothered or there's no way you're going to reach back and punch somebody like that. Chris,
Um, and I missed a part of your question again. I don't know what's going on with my phone right now.
you missed a part of my answer.
Not your question. Yeah, your answer. My bad.
Oh, I mean, go ahead and just shoot. Go ahead and answer it how you gonna answer it. Oh, yeah, Chris, in it. I see you in and out.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but yeah. So I would say check your spacing, take your 2 steps backwards, your 3 steps, and just move off. That the effectiveness of a guy gaining positioning on you is based upon you just staying there and allowing them to get that position. You also want to put contingencies in place to stop your opponent. What is it? Has an opposite stance. So what? An open stance? Is that what he means by that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely being able to put on like tripwires, like a lead hand, to see if the guy is ever going to try to engage and to cut the distance, and utilizing your lead hand to tip you off to move your feet back, and then to reset whenever they try to get aggressive and take that angle on you.
Right. Yep. Where we at? Do you have the Demetrius Andre versus Willie Nelson fight in HD? No, I don't. Nope. How can I control the distance in the ring and keep my opponent at the end of my punches? Man, that's a long-winded answer. Chris, you could tackle that one.
Uh, I mean, lead hand. You lead hand, being effective with your manipulations. I mean, how can I control the distance in the ring? Footwork. Footwork is really the number one thing about being able to control distance. A lot of people like to bring up, oh, this guy has a long reach. So because, he or she has a long reach, that means that the other fighter won't be able to come in. But that's all based upon how good you are at utilizing your footwork. Every time, let's just say you have the superior reach against one opponent that doesn't, if every time they come in, you stay there, they're effectively breaking that reach advantage and putting you in a 50-50 position. You just lost your advantage in keeping a guy at the end of your punches. If you take a step back to the step forward, you maintain the distance. If you take 2 steps backwards to their 1, you are increasing the distance. So, you're not always going to be able to back up as well. So you also want to be comfortable with proximity, aka smother defense, where you come into your opponent, you can go for the clinch, the tie, to wrap them up, walk them into the ropes. Or if you have your back to the ropes, you can get close, smother. You can turn them into the ropes and get back to the center of the ring. The manipulations, you can be able to use a single arm post or 2-hand post. Watching George Foreman was really fantastic at being able to take advantage of a fighter who's looking to cut the distance. Watch him versus Joe Frazier, most notably. Now he take a 2-hand post on the shoulders to back him up and to break his base, or break his posture, rather, excuse me, as Joe Frazier would try to dip down to be able to load up on the left hook. So a lot of different things you're going to have to work on to be able to keep a guy at the end of your punches.
Yep. Yeah, I agree, man. 100% agreed. Footwork and a elite lead hand.
Mm-hmm.
What up, Gems? Do you value more slick, clean counter punches and all-around sound defense more punches landed and forward aggression when scoring a round? Um, man, I would have to. It would depend. Um, Obviously, the clean counter punches are gonna look the most impressive. But more punches. I mean, are they partially blocked punches? Are they are they smothered punches? It depends. It would depend. So somebody like Floyd Mayweather was a master at the aesthetics of boxing. Um, smothering your work while landing the cleanest shots possible. You know what I'm saying? Snapping your head back. So in that case, obviously, most people would favor Floyd, most judges. Um, but if it's something closer than that, then it would depend. I don't think I need you on that one, Chris.
No, you got it. I agree.
Sup, Gems? You say Floyd is the most skilled fighter compared to other high skilled fighters like a Pernell Whitaker. What parts of the system does Floyd utilize that other uh,
High skill fighters, I take it.
high skilled fighters don't? Well, I don't want to compare Floyd to everybody, but just from that alone, from Pernell Whitaker versus Floyd. Floyd had a much more refined control and manipulation game. Like I mean, he blows Pernell out the water in that. But they're very closely skilled everywhere else, but control and manipulation blows them out the water. Easy.
And that's arguably the most important fact about being a highly skilled defensive fighter is being able to control the terms of engagement, of when fights happen, where they happen, the frequency of how often they happen.
Hmm.
That's really the most important part. A lot of guys, they want to look at a defensive fighter, they want to look at the slips, they want to look at the shoulder rolls and
Hmm.
so on and so forth. But excuse me, highly skilled defensive fighter is going to be a guy that, going back to what we talked about in our defense video, I is going to be ineffectiveness and inactivity. Ineffectiveness, when you render a blow, ineffective is basically when it doesn't hit any vital areas, your chin, your liver, your kidney, so on and so forth. Punches land on the glove, they land to the air. But inactivity is arguably the highest level of defensive skill, and forcing an opponent to lower their their desire to be offensive. That's control. Feints, manipulation, stopping them, stifling any counter opportunities, stifling their positioning. When you can make a fighter inactive, that's the highest level of defensive skill there is. And Floyd has done a really great job at making fighters inactive when he fights them.
Yeah. Yeah. Good shit. What did Tony Harrison do to give Charlo such a hard time in both fights? I don't remember the fights like that. To give you a technical answer, um, I mean, the most layman I could get is it seemed like a great jab bothered Jamel Charlo, and Tony Harrison definitely has a great jab. I don't remember the fights well enough though. Chris, do you?
No, not really.
Yeah. Who is better at the moment, Bam or Haney? I don't know, man. I mean, they're both skilled. I mean, by better, I'm thinking you're meaning more skilled or better skilled because we decide better by getting in the ring, and they'll never get in the ring. So I think they both have their strong suits. They both have their weak points. Like Bam, Bam with the angles, and Bam has an incredible feint game too. Haney has a elite lead hand and and great footwork. So I don't know. They have to get in the ring to see who's better, and they won't. So Chris, you got something on that?
No.
Here we go, Jay. That's a good question for you, brother.
You know what, boxing gyms, I agree with you. Yeah, Haney's jab is phenomenal. Um, I like Bam and his pivots, and I think he's excellent. I think they're just they're better at different things, but overall, I think they're about on the same level.
Yeah, I got you. Hey, KOing bums. You could click the link and you could voice your opinion on here. No problem.
Founder and leader for what we know about
Oh,
boxing.
my bad. Go ahead.
No, I'm just reading out loud. Don't mind me.
Yeah, he can click the link and voice his opinion. Think I don't know
I'm
anything?
trying to.
He said we don't know shit. But
Oh, I mean, well, maybe you know more than we do. Then feel free to come in and educate
yeah,
us.
please do. All right. What do y'all think about Wilder versus Hellenius? I'll get that back to you, Jay.
I think that's a good comeback fight for Wilder. I think he can get back in the game and score KO. That's what I think.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean they're obviously sparring partners, so they're obviously familiar with each other. Um, it probably is a good get back fight for Wilder. So that probably means the same as Wilder and Malik Scott, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
How does occupying the high guard change with a fighter who is bigger and has a longer reach than you? Well, his reach wouldn't matter if you're occupying the high guard because you're sticking his high guard close to his face. You're sticking the shields up. So if you're occupying it, he shouldn't be able to do shit with it. So his reach, which is the extension of those arms, don't matter.
Yep. Take advantage of a guy's hands being at home.
Right. In
That's all
fact,
it is.
that's a wonderful tactic against a fighter with longer arms than you. Um,
Oh, and to also that question, Callum Smith versus Canelo.
right.
So
uh,
extreme reach advantage that
right.
just the guy just no footwork,
Yep.
pure high guard,
Yep.
and that's how it would play out. There's a visual, more or less.
How can Canelo get through a super tight guard like Bivol? We were just talking about it earlier with Shakur. Uh, probing's a good tactic. Basically, so Bivol has a active high guard. So basically, the probes, whether the left or the right hand or both hands, you know what I'm saying? They'll act to to basically move Bivol's guard to a spot he thinks you're punching, except you're probing, just to get an opening somewhere else. So, um, Chris, what else, man?
I mean, definitely going to the body. Don't be so preoccupied with always trying to land to the head.
Right.
Force him to try to catch shots low. Definitely do a better job of trying to glue the man's hands to his head and then take an angle. But I mean, I don't know if Canelo's going to learn that. So that's a big maybe. But if he can do that, then being able to keep the man's hands at home, be physical, take an angle, go to the body, come back up top, that would be very effective for him.
Yeah. This isn't a question, but I wanted to respond anyway. What's good, the welcome one? That's actually not true. There's no inherent advantage that a southpaw has over an orthodox fighter aside from his familiarity with fighting orthodox fighters. Now, if you get an orthodox fighter who's trained just as hard against southpaws as he has orthodox fighters himself, then there is absolutely no advantage. Fam, fam, click the link or leave. I mean, what? Why are you still around if we're idiots?
I think it's that same guy from what was that one stream? The boring stream.
Is it? Nah,
I'm
is
asking.
I have no clue, man. I
Maybe
mean,
maybe he still
I
has
don't
a, has
know.
a grudge.
Who would you say has the best jab right now? So I think it's Dimitri Bivol. I think Golovkin's still up there. Like I mentioned earlier, Tony Harrison, um, Devin Haney's got a nice jab. You know, along them lines.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's see. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Tyson Fury's got. I would say Tyson Fury's got more of a elite lead hand than like a elite jab, which is better, obviously.
Yeah, you definitely want to be dynamic with your lead because if a guy gets to shutting down your jab, what else do you have?
Let me see. Questions. Trying to look for some more. Is there an AJ and Usyk fight preview video? Of course, but of course, I guess I could play a little bit of it. Uh, give me a second.
That like button, subscribe, and hit that notification. Class in session. As we all know, the first Joshua versus Usyk match was aesthetically dominated by Usyk doing what he does. He wasn't exactly the normal big matrix, as I like to call him, as his game deeply resembles Lomachenko's game, having been trained by Loma's father, but we still saw the resemblance.
I'm looking for more questions. I'm gonna save the questions.
Oh boy. Oh.
Usyk beat Joshua by being light on his feet, using lateral movement
Uh,
while also being the aggressor, initiating offense and getting off first. My first thoughts were,
see these guys
besides a
comment.
puncher's chance, this rematch is a foregone conclusion, and Usyk
um,
will once again beat AJ, if not
who the same dude?
Yeah.
Oh no, I mean the dude is trash, man. He don't know shit about boxing, bro. I stopped reading that shit. You don't know nothing at all about boxing, man. The founder said,
Oh.
but let me just, yeah, I stopped reading this bullshit.
not even worse than the first fight. Some of AJ's flaws and mistakes were taken full advantage of. In the very first round, dazzled by Usyk's lead hand play, AJ was slow to get back in stance while chasing the jab joust. He needs his front foot to land to gain the balance to step back with his back foot and get spacing. Too late. Backing out in straight lines, trying to catch
Something
Usyk
that
with an
Tank Davis loves to
underdeveloped
do.
check hook on top
Hmm.
of doing it front foot first. Shout out Coach Robinson as we see the rhythm step, which breaks your base and simply leaves you vulnerable during and after the maneuver.
Rhythm step is such a pointless. It's
Yeah,
it's such a useless thing
However,
to do.
studying film made me change
man,
my
and
opinion
that three
slightly,
times in a
and it's
row.
mainly because of
Shit.
all these.
Yeah. Nobody drove me. The person that drove me insane the most with it was Mark Magsayo.
Oh man, yeah, he does it so often.
Yeah, man. Like every 5 seconds. Good split right in. Usyk keeping his head on the center line whenever he jabs.
Yep.
Doesn't have a cross shield with his backhand.
Yeah, it's
No,
that.
I didn't even show AJ's
Well,
backhand
I
crosses that were
explain it.
partially blocked but still got through. When the same punches landed over and over again in a fight, it's a product of flaws and weaknesses. Usyk has one in particular that evens out the odds a bit more for me. Usyk uses a lot of seemingly random but coordinated foot movement. mostly pendulum stepping, bouncing, and shuffling laterally. He also moves his head with level changes and pre slips left and right. But when he wants to close distance and initiate offense like he likes to do, he has to set his feet. In the Joshua fight, how Usyk set his feet was he quickly chops his front foot first to stop momentum and get his weight on the back foot to push off an attack. It's basically a front step shuffle, except the front step is a step in place. As quick as it is, Usyk has to stop all the head movement to do it, and the front foot causes a slight hesitation or freeze in Usyk's motion forward, where he both stiffens up and his head virtually always has to be on the center line. It's like a football player that chops his feet for a
Yeah, he
quick
really
change
is
of
open for that
direction,
right
but in
hand
boxing,
on
it's a
that
tip.
transition.
What'd you say, Chris?
I was saying he's really Usyk's open for that right hand on that transition,
Oh yeah.
right about there.
Hmm.
Joshua just needs to split the jab with the right hand, get his head off the center line. Usyk will be eating that.
Yeah. Nah, he ate it. Shit, he ate it several times.
Yeah, it seemed like he was having some good success with that. I think he should have used it a lot more.
I think it took him
Yeah,
a little second to get the timing of it down, but now I believe he definitely saw it.
that's a big no-no. Slip to the out just to come back to the center line.
Yeah, I start showing him in a second.
Now, whether that was the tell that Joshua and team picked up on, either to know when to defend or land those crosses, is hard to say 100%, but it's more likely than not. The footwork Usyk uses can be done safely, but fundamental flaw or not, constantly repeating how you attack is always a tell. And being the dangerous puncher Joshua is, the tell is too risky to ignore.
Bobby, what up? I see you, fam. Yeah, he starts getting banked up a little bit.
Yeah, some good. Yeah,
I saw somebody ask, who did I have? I gotta pick Usyk, but I think Joshua still has a chance at the knockout. Problem is, well, let me pause this shit.
With
I
that
say I say it here, but problem is, if Anthony Joshua can't get him out of there, when it gets to the ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th, the championship rounds, Anthony Joshua is gonna gas because Usyk is gonna push a pace on him that he's definitely not used to, just like he did the first fight. So when he's gassed, man, I don't see him winning no rounds. All right, let me get back to these questions. Um, who would you say has the best lead hands in the sport? Let's say top five. I don't really feel like doing no list. Um, uh, best lead hands. Um, give me Bivol again. Give me Crawford. Give me uh man, I don't know if he'll make my top five. I really thought about it, but give me cool boy Steph. Give me Fury. Let's see. Do I want to put Haney in this? Maybe Haney, yeah. But I don't know. On the spot, I don't know if that's my real top five or not, but they all have really nice lead hands. Chris, you got somebody to add to that
uh, no, I don't really focus on. No, I don't really have anybody in mind to compile a
list,
list.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think of the WBA mandating Bivol to fight Zerto? I like it, man. Somebody's O's got to go. I like it a lot. They need to go through all these damn divisions and make everybody with an O fight.
In a perfect world, my friend.
Right.
Perfect world.
Shit, I might shit. If I think I'm gonna come on tomorrow and that's gonna be and I'm gonna show you the weight classes that that got a whole bunch of O's in the top tens of the rankings and how ridiculous it is.
That's actually tragic. That would be a good statistic to put up.
Bro. Yeah, well one of them's welterweight for sure. The other one's lightweight. And those are the two main ones, but oh fuck, one don't get me started on middleweight either. But I'm gonna have it all up. Let's see. How do you counter a catch and shoot? Um, are you talking about counter? See, I'm gonna assume you're talking about a counter punch and not just a
And maybe
counter.
counter the counter, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously. But then the question is vague. It depends what I'm catching and shooting, or what they're catching and shooting. What did I throw for them to catch and shoot?
Yeah, is it like a two-handed catch and shoot or off the same side? You know.
Right. We were talking about earlier how probing shots might uh might have somebody countering them, and that's all that really is. You probe a shot on a guard, they try catch and shoot, but you didn't commit to the punch, so you're already ready to counter. I mean, yeah, it depends, man. That's it's a lot of different situations where you
Yeah,
can
offensively. My
go
bad.
ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go
No, I
ahead.
was just gonna say, when it comes to because counterpunching is most effective when your anticipation is on point. And if
Mm,
your anticipation, if you're not entirely sure or confident what's going to be coming at you, you're probably not going to be willing to just commit to a counterpunch because you don't know exactly what's going to come thereafter. So guys are more prone to being, defensive if they don't know what's coming at them than to be defensive and then offensive.
right,
And so you can really help to regulate the amount of return fire, if you will, from your opponent based upon how you're setting things up. That's why it's important to be able to set your punches up. If you want to break a guy's defense down, you have to attack their anticipation. That
right,
comes with feints, that comes with probes, that comes another thing with positioning. You have to get yourself off the track and onto a different angle if you can. Because once you get to a different angle, you can be able to sneak at least a shot in. And because you're off an angle, it's hard for the guy to be able to counter because you're off to a different side.
hmm
Then you have manipulations in which you can stifle their arms and their balance, their posture from being able to come back with a counter. So
yep. You're okay. Do you think Usyk could beat Fury? Like, is it a 50-50 fight? I mean, it's possible. I would lean Fury though. I mean, just the size difference alone. At some point, it's got to matter. What's a good approach to fighting a lateral moving counterpuncher? Shit. Well, I mean, the most obvious answer is cut off the ring or be good at cutting off the ring. Chris, I'll let you tackle this one.
yeah, again, that really goes down to what I answered earlier. A counter puncher's effectiveness is again based upon their level of anticipation.
Hmm
How easy are you making it for them to spot your offense? And if you're making it easy, then they're probably going to be tagging you up quite often. But if you can be effective again with your setups and then with your defense after you use your offense off those setups, they're going to have a hard time being able to really have any level of effectiveness in terms of how they can counterpunch you. Caleb Plant, when he fought against Canelo, he was effective in utilizing lateral motion, but Caleb Plant had some mistakes of being planted, no pun intended, when it was time for him to be offensive. So during those moments in which the guy would look to be offensive, Canelo would then use that as an opportunity to get into that 50-50 exchange. And Canelo doesn't, at times it's difficult to figure out how to counter Canelo um, because of his off rhythm, his pace of motion is can be weird. He can kind of slowly prod, but explode off with power punches out of nowhere. So,
Yep.
just things like that.
Boxer Gems, who you got? Usyk or AJ? I answered that. I got Usyk, but I would hedge the bet with an AJ by knockout. Let's see.
I said Boots over Charlie Z.
What he said?
He said Boots over Charlie Z.
Oh. So should a southpaw fighting a taller opponent do what Usyk does with his lead hand? Sorry if that's a stupid question. Missed the start of the breakdown. So should a southpaw fighting a taller opponent do what Usyk does with his lead hand? I mean, you'll be hard pressed to say somebody should do something or should do something else. There's plenty of shit you could do in a boxing ring, man. So I mean, Usyk obviously has a good strategy with his lead hand. That's another guy with an elite lead hand that I didn't mention. Um, you know, nice little control and pin game, nice little probe game, feints on point, all with the lead hand. So you don't have to do that, no, but it works. I mean, I don't know how
Yeah.
else to answer that.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to guys with, height, uh, notably, I don't know if some people, when they say a guy's taller, I guess maybe they may or may not be saying, he also has a reach advantage. But, when it comes to situations like that, keep a guy's hands at home.
Uh,
Find a way how to keep a guy's hands at home, like what Jim said before.
yeah, my
That
bad.
advantage
Yeah,
is neutralized.
real quick. I forgot all about Shakur. See, that's what coming up with lists on the spot to do. Make you
Yeah.
forget about shit. Forgot all about Shakur, man. Um, bro, what's a short list of the best jabs in history? Come on, man. Come on, man. Jay, you still with me?
Oh yes.
I'm gonna give you that one.
Oh man, that's a little too much. I can throw out
Yeah,
a couple names. That's about it.
that's a
Look, well,
loaded question.
let me ask this, pal. I mean, to anybody asking these types of questions, who do you think sits around and thinks about lists like this? Who does? I mean, if there's a YouTuber that does it, or whatever, a guy that breaks down boxing that does it, I like to see it. He just got crazy lists like that offhand. But anywho, go ahead, Jay.
Uh, Tommy Hearns, um,
Good job.
uh, Muhammad Ali,
Hmm.
uh, Oscar De La Hoya. I think he had an excellent jab.
Hell of a job.
Um,
Larry Holmes.
Larry Holmes, absolutely, absolutely.
Was that
Um,
five?
Sonny Liston had a shotgun.
he
Sonny
did.
List. Okay. That's five right there. All right, good, great.
It was a group effort, but
Right.
hey, that's a loaded
Uh
question, man. A lot of people with some great jabs. That's tough, man.
yeah.
And then the purpose, the utility, it's tough, man.
Found Floyd Mayweather Jr. landed 42% of his jabs on Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah, that's
I
ridiculous.
mean, that's beyond ridiculous. It automatically puts him up there with a great jab. People don't land 42% of jabs, bro. That shit, it don't even make sense. Do you remember how Mikey Garcia would counter the body jab? It was beautiful. Hell no, Bobby, I don't. See, that's I tell you something about me, man. I don't normally put. Well, I've said this before. I don't normally put fighters' skill sets to memory, like specific fighters. So what somebody did specifically like that, that'd be very hard for me to remember.
And I would love to do just to be able to watch a fight or highlights, and we've been talking about these gems to just break down, why things happen the way that they happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Will Stokes is a question I get pretty often. Have you boxed? How do you have this boxing knowledge? So having boxed has nothing to do with it. But nah, I never competed in boxing. I just trained, sparred, you know what I'm saying? Did all of basically did everything else but compete. Um but the boxing knowledge didn't come from any of that shit. When I was training and shit, I was just training. I mean, it's like drill, 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 spar. Somebody has to break it down for you. So luckily, I had coaches break it down for me, man. And on top of that, in film study. So that's how I got boxing knowledge. Chris, you got a similar story?
Uh, yeah. I mean, same thing. No competition, but I've done everything else. So,
Well, how'd you get the boxing knowledge? Because it wasn't from training, I doubt.
oh no, no, that was just film, really,
Hmm.
mainly film, and just wanting to see how things work and don't work. Um, that's really where it came from. Film will help to give you the IQ, no matter what it is you're looking at, the knowledge to know the ins and outs. If you just sit there, you watch it, you break it down, you understand the techniques and the systems that come in play. That will give you the knowledge that
Yeah.
you may feel you don't have.
Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback off that, I think after you learn the system pretty well, everything else is kind of common sense. Well,
Yeah,
now common to you now. You know what I'm saying? That's why it doesn't matter the fighter. I mean, I could do film studies or breakdowns for any fighter. I only got to watch a couple rounds because the system doesn't really change. It's mostly the same thing. It's just different ways of skinning the cat, for lack of a better term or better phrase.
yeah. There's no reinventing the wheel when it comes to boxing. There are very fleshed out historical do's and don'ts of boxing and how you box
Yeah,
that you will find is universal for anybody that engages in the art form.
yeah. I talked about it last show where boxing fundamentals is nothing but uh, a century's worth of best practices.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When people compete, you find out what works and what doesn't work through people competing. So fundamentals, you know what I'm saying, is supposed to be, something that grows, as
Absolutely.
long as boxing exists. But it only grows when the best fight the best, and that was a whole nother show. Have you guys seen Arrow's most recent workout? No. Man looks
No.
ripped and prime. Okay. Be- Being in shape and able to take shots is form of defense. Is
Arrow's
Arrow's
fitness.
fitness why he rarely gets hurt? Well, okay. Being in shape and able to take shots is defense. Now, no, I don't. Nah, I don't go by that. I don't agree that being able to take a punch is a form of defense.
I mean, it's a last resort defense
Yeah,
if you
right.
want to look at it that way. Like all else fails, you can't even do a head roll off a punch. Yeah, I mean having strong neck and strong abs when you take a body shot when everything else fails you. Okay, yeah, all right, you got a
Yeah.
point there, but not off rip.
Plus, you can't win a fight like that.
Oh
You
no,
can't win a fight taking a punch.
there's
That's
only one dude that I think tried that, and that's Mayorga. He's the only one that comes to mind that at that level, tried to eat shots. And even the guys that he would try to play around with, like Trinidad and Mosley, he still got finished. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. So you're gonna run into somebody that punches too damn hard.
yeah, or you're good at taking headshots, but then they give you one to your liver, and then all of a sudden you're not feeling too good. So
Yeah. I heard someone say Haney Cambosos 2 would be closer. They said it wasn't just what Haney did that made it wide, but it was also that Cambosos didn't do all that he could have done. Do you agree? Of course. Well, I don't know about the first part. I don't know whether it's going to be closer or not. But of course, I agree with the last part. Of course, I mean, if Cambosos improves his jab defense, it's a different fight.
yeah,
I mean, it's definitely shit he could do to change or to try to change the outcome or to make the fight closer. Um, if he learns how to shorten his steps, step it inside, it's a different fight. So yeah, I agree with the last part.
you're floating on the
Or
center line or
yeah,
on the front foot and not doing anything off of it.
right. Let's see. Luis Ortiz versus Andy Ruiz, September 4th prediction. Jay,
You
my
know
man.
what? Let me see. I mean,
Look, all right. The reason I'm asking you is I haven't done any film study. I'm not gonna do no film study. So you might know better than me.
I wouldn't say that boxing gyms, but I'm gonna lean towards, despite his age, I'm gonna lean towards Luis Ortiz.
Luis Ortiz by knockout or by decision?
Decision.
Okay. What do you? Anything in particular you like that he does that would neutralize Andrew Ruiz?
I just think his entire ring savvy, being a southpaw, I think it's going to cause some problems for uh I think I think it's going to I think it's going to cause him some problems. And I'm not really I wouldn't put money on it. I wouldn't put money on it, but I slightly lean towards Ortiz.
Gotcha. Chris, I wouldn't imagine that you would know.
No, I have no idea.
We in it for different reasons, y'all. But do you guys think Ortiz beats any of the top guys at 47? If you're saying that like top guys as in Spencer Crawford, no, I don't think so. Um, Jay, do you think so?
I think he can give Spence a run for his money, but I don't think he can beat him. I think he has a better chance of beating Spence as opposed to Crawford.
Yeah, Chris.
I have to agree with Jay on that one. It's mainly off of Spence's positioning and what he favors.
Right. Right. As opposed to Crawford's positioning and what he favors.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I think
But
Ortiz
you
is
don't have him beating either one.
no.
Right.
Yeah, Ortiz and Spence would be more of a collision. They'll find a way, but Spence also does a pretty good job if he has to check his spacing and to take resets when necessary. So if he feels that Ortiz is too dangerous in that regard, um, he'll do what needs to be done positioning wise. not try to take those unnecessary 50-50s.
Yeah. Uh, Janabek versus Munguia. I think I would lean Janabek. Not sure how though. I just like Janabek's skill set a lot more. I think he's got a lot more wrinkles than Jaime Munguia. Jay.
I haven't seen a whole lot of Janet Beck, so I couldn't give you anything on that one.
All right, Chris.
Yeah, no, I'd have to film study both of them.
Derevianchenko versus Murata. Interesting. Did they sign that fight? That's not a fight that's signed, is it?
I have no idea. I didn't even know that was in the works or even being considered.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know either, honestly. But man, when's the last time I saw Derevianchenko?
Probably Charlo.
Shit, how long has it been?
Probably year and a half, 2 years maybe.
Yeah, I don't favor the inactive guy. And
I could be
Murata's.
wrong. That's the last time I remember seeing him.
Let me type in all these goddamn letters real quick.
I don't know why another fight's popping up in my head, but I could be wrong. I thought he lost a close one to somebody, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, the only fight I remember is Charlo.
Oh, okay. He just fought. He just fought.
Did he?
Shit, he just fought the 30th.
Wow, I had no idea.
Versus Joshua Conley. I don't know who that is.
I don't either.
Okay, so he is active. He's active at least. He won by UD. I don't know, man. I definitely had to look at some film. Wait, is this where I'm at? What's your short list of the hardest punchers in history? Didn't I just say about these damn lists, bro? Y'all just won't quit with this shit, huh?
Dylan.
Right. Yeah. I like that. I don't know, bro. I mean, that's really hard. I mean, that would be super objective, wouldn't it? Or I mean, subjective. Like, I'm not in there getting punched.
Ouch. I'm not taking anything from George Foreman or Ernie Shavers, so I don't know what to say.
Or Mike Tyson. And
Julian Jackson.
Julian Jackson. Fuck. All right, yeah, that's a good list right there. Did you hear them? and shit, I damn sure wouldn't take Wilder's backhand either.
Oh nah, fuck that. Eating Sonny Liston's jab. Rocky Marciano's right hand. Bro, I'm cool, man.
Hell no. Who's heavyweight? What heavyweight fighters now can beat Tyson Fury? Probably nobody. Not sure. I mean, it's a very vague question. Probably nobody though. Anybody else got a thought?
Nah. He didn't.
I agree.
Wilder can clean it up. Maybe they want to run it back, and Wilder somehow, some way comes out sharper.
Right.
Seems to have opportunities of finding that chin. So.
Yeah. Unlikely though, because he won about 4 or 5 rounds out of like 30 something or 20 high 20s.
Yeah, I'll give him credit. He did send Fury to the Twilight Zone in the first fight.
Oh my god, man! I thought he was dead for real. I thought he was dead, man. I'm like, oh shit, Wilder did it because he needed that shit. He needed the knockout.
Yeah.
But
I will never forget that man's face when he was celebrating and he turned around and Fury got up.
Man. Out the motherfucking casket. Crazy as hell. And he got up like nothing happened.
Yeah, that was. Didn't he take a little? He took a little walk, didn't he? He had a little jog
Hmm
when the referee asked him to go to the corner. Like, oh shit.
Of course, Black Light asked when we getting Bivol versus Canelo too. Of course, Black
Canelo.
Light.
And this
So
man has
it's definitely got to be you,
named
huh?
the.
Jesus Christ, man. I don't know, man. Um, I got Bivol. uh, um,
He doesn't clean it up against Golovkin. We don't see anything. He sure as hell needs to stay the hell away from Better be a.
what? The Woken, what in the hell are you talking about, bro? It is best not to mention anything about Southpaws, their stances, movements, styles, or strategies unless you want to be called a troll or someone who knows nothing about boxing. Did I say that? Maybe you're talking to somebody in the comment section. Oh, talking about saying skills is better. Oh, that's something to somebody else. Oh shit. I'm studying math in college and got interested in fighting for the applied probability theory. You're gonna have to come up on here and tell us about that, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about that.
Uh,
Pussies, everyone except Jake Paul.
is Isak Pitbull Cruz a big threat in lightweight division? Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, he's a top lightweight, right? Or at least top 10, right? That wild ass style, man, is not. So if you want to beat a technician, and I've always said if you want to be somebody like Shakur, man, you're not gonna outbox him. So you know what I'm saying, having those intangibles, a hard ass head, um, crazy willpower, and you know what I'm saying, and having that unorthodox ass style and approach, that'd be one of the best ways to beat somebody like that, similar to Floyd Maidana.
I would have loved to have seen Ryan Garcia face him. I would have loved to just see that.
Yeah, yeah, I'd probably be inclined to pick Isak,
Yes.
but I don't know. I mean, I think Ryan Garcia could shut his lights off too, though. As I thought, I think Tank could have too, but he broke his hand and shit. So
Esau Cruz has such a low center of gravity and a tight. His guard is really tight, man. It's really, really tight. And
yeah,
I know Tank was trying to get him with the uppercut, and it was kind of hard to catch him clean.
yeah, he used the shields pretty well coming inside. What could you do if your opponent doesn't fall for your feints? Um, Chris, you can take that one.
Uh, I mean, it's hard to tell. I would, if it's you boxing, I would have to like see how you're fainting. Sometimes like these really over exaggerated feints um, are not really gonna do it. Especially for what skill level you're talking
Yeah,
about your opponent is. So
yeah.
it
Let me.
really
I
depends.
I I add. Well, what's the purpose of your feints? Is the purpose of your feints to draw out a guard or to draw out a punch? Is the purpose of your because I mean, what if the purpose of your feint is just to hesitate your opponent? You know what I'm saying? As long as your opponent's not doing nothing, as long as you freeze him for a second, your feint worked.
Yeah.
So I mean, not falling for your feints, does that mean he's throwing a power point. I don't like that's a it's a tough question. It's vague a bit. Um, no, that's not a question. Hey, Bobby, appreciate the super chat, fam. My bad. Turn catch on right elbow. Weight is now on front foot to shoot a gazelle like shovel instead of throwing a right hand. It's dangerous too, though. What are we talking about?
I don't know. Try to see this earlier or something.
Turn catch on right elbow. Weight is on the front foot to shoot a gazelle like shovel instead of throwing a right hand.
Oh, I think he's talking about Mikey Garcia's technique to counter the jab to the body. He was talking to
Oh,
Elder
okay.
Dragon.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah, turn a catch on right elbow. Weight is now on front foot.
Right.
Shoot a gazelle as the guy's pulling back after he steps in with a jab to the body.
That's how you counter the jab to the body.
Hey, does Bobby have
Damn.
a fight?
Oh, you know what? I know the exact sequence he's talking about too. I remember seeing that highlight thinking, man, that shit was dangerous.
Uh,
I remember
Think
seeing
Broner?
nah, was it Broner? No, I thought it was somebody else. It might have been Broner though. But he did exactly what Bobby said. But I mean, obviously, you know what I'm saying, if your opponent throws that right hand, shit,
Yeah,
it's
bro.
a shit, it could be a wrap, especially if you're leaping into some type of gazelle hook or gazelle punch with
Yeah,
the
that's
lead
a
hand.
flight risk right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I call it airtime.
hey, does Bobby have an example of a fight that we can kind of look to?
Yeah, nah.
I would like to see that.
I remember the highlight. I don't remember Mikey Garcia's opponent though. I'm
I
sure
think it was
Bobby
Broner.
was it Broner?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was Broner.
Should I try to find that? Play somebody else's shit? Let me try to find it real quick. Um,
So, like knockout compilations, you couldn't play those either.
I'm honestly, man, I'm really not sure. I mean, only thing I'm gonna have to do is just fucking try it, man. And you know what I'm saying? Hopefully, I don't get a copyright strike.
Right. Because I was thinking that's if you wanted to, we could try that with the stream and then have footage up and then just break down our thoughts and how shit went wrong for guys.
Yeah, yeah. On first attempt at looking for this shit, I see I'm gonna have to actually look through a lot of videos, so I can't do it. Uh, who do you think wins between Haney and Loma? Um, that's a pretty even fight to me, especially if Loma doesn't get a tune up, which it looks like he's gonna get if they end up meeting. Um, I don't know. I had to see Loma, Loma fight again. See how he looks after wartime, and you know he ain't doing nothing but getting older. So
Oh man, some of the comments I just saw, dog.
I'm glad I ain't get to him yet. I favor Loma slightly because I don't think Haney is as effective against southpaws. Yeah, that's another thing. I I uh I made a video about a southpaw problem Haney has. How he blocks the backhand. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just be
so
better just and when he tries to catch that right hand, this one a guy has is on the outside, right?
wait, what?
when Haney tries to catch the not the right hand, the backhand. It's
Yeah.
when the southpaw has the outside angle.
No, it doesn't even matter, man. It doesn't
Okay.
matter, inside or outside. Haney just tries to throw that quick shield up like he's blocking a lead hand hook from an orthodox fighter.
Right. Well, I was bringing it up because I know that some guys have gotten away with it when the there's no stance changes in positioning
Okay.
when they catch the backhand.
Yeah.
But when a guy gets to the outside, that's you definitely don't want to catch that because you're gonna inadvertently turn so much that you're gonna square yourself up.
Yeah.
That's when Floyd got cracked by Zab Judah with that left hand.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you want to just slip or duck. The guy is gonna get that positioning or just move backwards.
Yep. Yeah, Black Light, I'm not even going to read that.
Oh, dude.
What made Julio Cesar Chavez aggressiveness so effective? Was it skill or toughness? It was most definitely skill, but obviously he had the toughness as an intangible that worked for him as well. But man, if you go back and watch Julio Cesar Chavez, or go back and watch the breakdown I did, that motherfucker was a master of frame games. That dude's frame game was nice, super nice. So that's definitely gonna make him look tougher on the inside, bullying people with a forearm across their guard or across their body. Chris, you remember?
Yeah,
JC.
yeah. Best way to get your offense going.
Do you think boxers should work core every day? I think inadvertently they do work core every day. Shit. I mean, when are you not working your core in boxing? I'm trying to think. What drill? What? Yeah. When are you not working your core?
Talking like more isolated, like
Yeah. Yeah. If you're talking about sit-ups and shit, then you don't have to. Not every day, but you. That's. I guess that's personal preference type shit.
yes.
Your
Know your
core
body.
is very, very fucking important in boxing. But I don't know. I wish Champ was on, Tim Bradley was on, so I could ask him if he worked his core every day. That motherfucker used to be ripped on that vegan diet.
Yeah, it'd be dope to have some of his insights as well. Share with the stream.
Hmm. He said he been busy lately, so he ain't been coming around. Uh, all right, now I'm seeing some of these comments you were talking about.
My goodness, dude. Uh,
Here's a good question. Why did you guys never compete? Man, I had options, bro. I had options. I know that sounds simple, but so deciding to stay in a game where you get punched in your face, man, is not for the. It's not usually for people that got other options, and
yeah,
that's
I was planning on it, but other circumstances had to sway me in a different direction. So
yeah. I got it, Bobby. Oh, unless you're talking about you sent another one. Oh, I am behind. Oh shit, I'm 20 minutes behind. Fuck. Muhammad, I see what's good with you, bro. All right. Do you think Jermaine Ortiz can beat the top lightweights? Oh, here my dog tripping. I don't know who Jermaine Ortiz is. Does somebody else know?
Definitely not.
Seen a fight.
I might have saw a fight, but I don't remember the name, which isn't good.
Yeah, I don't remember much either.
Man, my dog tripping. Give me a second, y'all.
Yeah, you good.
All right. He's still gonna bark. Watch. All right. Looking for questions. All right. I'm confused how Jerron Ennis is so good. He didn't have an extensive amateur career, and he also hasn't fought much top competition as a pro. Decent amount of his success down to athleticism. Well, he's got a fighting family. All his brothers fought. His father trains. I mean, he's probably boxing since he was a baby. So I mean, that's why he's that good.
Yeah, all boils down to the curriculum, so to speak, for how a fighter comes up. I mean, it's pretty much what boils down to what system he's been taught to allow him to be effective for what he uses in the game right now.
I mean, yeah. Granted, I mean, obviously he's super athletic, but obviously he has a lot of boxing skill as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't boil it down to athleticism.
Yeah, me either. You got to deliver that athleticism somehow.
Yeah.
Oh, my guy, intangible. What's good with you, bruh? If you're still here, I've been through a lot in the last month. Oh yeah, yeah. Usyk Joshua is very interesting, especially if I mean we'll see how Joshua comes out. How would you fight? How would you fight Fury or prepare a fighter to fight Fury? Shit, film study. A lot of film study, man. What was what did I do? Fury versus White. Somebody mic going crazy. Oh, it was Jay. I did Fury versus White, so I was kind of centered around Dillian White's strengths and weaknesses versus Tyson Fury's strengths and weaknesses, but he has flaws just like everybody else. I would just concentrate on the flaws, see how we can take advantage. Concentrate on his strengths, see how we can avoid them and shut him down. Same like with everybody else. If you want specifics, I ain't got them right now. Chris, you got some specifics?
Nah, film study and create a drill system
Yep.
that we can use to. I mean, personally, I think the method of how fighters prepare for fights, I think, isn't all that effective. I think year round you should be drilling and honing and improving your skills, not waiting for what, like 3 months max to pretty much do more or less what you're accustomed to.
Right.
I mean, you should always be evolving. Like look at how other sports pretty much have their athletes improve. They're always going through systems, drilling systems to improve their abilities. Whereas with boxers, fighters in general, it just seems like they just, go about life however they want for, for some of them. And then once they got to fight, a portion of that comes with trying to cut down weight. And then the next is pretty much, doing what you may be comfortable with. So,
Yep. Yep. Everybody else is in training camps of some sort if they want to improve, and boxers don't seem to do that as much. Unless they're young up and comers, then they always seem to be hungry. But once they made the bag, get a little bit get a little bit complacent.
yeah, I mean, it's like, the question is, why are we seeing, even high level fighters really start to pull out, as you say, different wrinkles? Why are we seeing that? You know,
Yeah, yeah.
why is it more or less the same? Then we always go down to the same question. Oh, well, why is this fighter not showing what we're used to? Well, he's been doing the same thing for so long, but other people probably caught on to it. So it's not as effective anymore.
Right. The one thing, now that I'm thinking about it, the one thing that I'd probably like to take advantage of if I was training to fight Fury is that is those multiple feints he likes to do. The multiple step and hand feints he likes to do. I'd like to figure out a way to catch his ass with a right hand while he's in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they do that shit 3, 4 times, right? It
Yeah,
just
it's,
seems
it's the
like a lot of
quickness.
yeah, it just seems like a lot of time and opportunity to catch his ass with a right hand while he's doing that shit. But that's the only thing I could really think of right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's in the same place when he's doing it.
Right.
So,
Head in the same place, everything. Yeah.
yeah.
Y'all excited for Drug Nello to fight
Oh,
Grandpa
Jesus.
Triple G? I wouldn't say excited, but I'm gonna watch it.
Canelo's still gonna have some problems with Triple G.
I expect it. I expect it, man. I mean, if you watch the film study, I expect that until Canelo gasses. I'm not
I saw
Canelo.
a
I'm
clip.
sorry. Until Triple G gasses. But go ahead.
Saw a clip of Canelo training, and I want to see if he made any adjustments to how he positions himself around the ring. And he still more or less seems to do the same shit.
Right.
Rhythm step. I guess he's got like that, the Ali shuffle. But I love Muhammad Ali. I'll always, resign him to the he'll always be the greatest of all time in my eyes because of what he's done inside and outside the ring. But that all these shuffle, man, I mean, your base isn't where you want it to be, when you're using that movement.
And the problem with everybody else doing it is you're not fucking Muhammad Ali, bruh. I mean,
Yeah,
he had a certain amount of athleticism that most people that heavy are not gonna have, or shit. 99% of people that heavy aren't gonna have. Shit,
right.
99% of people that are lighter than that motherfucker not gonna have that athleticism. So I mean, to do it quick enough to not be in danger is tough, man.
I mean, especially look at the time frame and when he could actually use that technique and the level of opposition where it worked. I mean, as
Right.
he started to get to the Fraziers and Nortons and the Foremans, I don't think I really recall him using that technique all that much. People will say, it's age, but I'm willing to bet it's really mostly just the fact that that technique, when you fight against higher level opposition, is more dangerous than it is anything else.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. Are you gonna make a breakdown on Ben versus Eubank? mm, I normally wouldn't. I normally wouldn't. That's not really a fight that I care about because it's not a fight
That's
that
another exhibition match.
yeah, it's an exhibition fight pretty much. It doesn't really progress. It doesn't. it doesn't take boxing to where I want it to go. You know what I'm saying? They're how many weight classes apart? Two, three weight classes apart. They're fighting at a catch weight. Neither of them are. They're both just contenders in their respective weights. Why I don't. Why do I care about this? Because of their fathers? Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, that seems to be more of a domestic situation than like a.
Yeah, yeah, I
I mean,
understand now. Yeah, the domestic excitement. You know what I'm saying over there in the UK. I understand that, but it's just yeah, for me, it's just not that exciting. So I'm leaning no, but maybe. Oh, did you ask the same dumb question? Let's see. Question. Here's a question. T word, what up, man? Uh, questions. See y'all talking to each other.
Hey, do you gentlemen think there's a particular skill or a couple skills that's underutilized at this point in time in the sport?
oh man.
Of course. Yeah, man. Of course. Well, I bet I bet at least in our top two, both me and Chris is definitely control and guard manipulation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm,
That's super underutilized. I mean,
mm.
that's why I call it the highest level of skill because it's that underutilized. Chris, you got
Yeah, I
some?
mean, um, weight transfer,
Oh man.
the jab.
Hey, real quick. I'm gonna
What's
mute your
up?
mic real quick, Jay. Though you got like
Yeah.
something funny going, like a reverb or something. But
Horrible.
real quick. I tried to check my own shit. I caught myself getting up and training for a brief second to check my
Yeah.
own weight transfer and all that shit. Bro, I'm terrible, man. I lost all that shit, bro. My coordination went to shit.
Yeah, yeah, you just gotta stay on top of it, brother.
Nah,
You know,
man, I
that's
ain't been on top of it in forever. So I mean my coordination, it's like I know what to do, but my body
right.
ain't doing it.
I may send you a video of me training or something like that. I still stay active with it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nah, I ain't been active with that shit in a minute, but my bad to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I mean, guys staying on the center line with their heads and having to go to this reactive offense and defensive, instead of being active with how they transition their weight, snaking their head,
Yeah,
different hand positioning. I mean, it's guys don't really know how to navigate the ring. A lot of them. I mean, the jab. There's a lot, man. There's a lot.
yeah, a lot of shit that's underutilized. Facts.
I think if like the four kings were to be in boxing today with their skill sets, oh my god, bro. Holy, that'd be amazing, man. I'd have to go to their fights. I couldn't just sit on the stream and watch them or be behind the screen, man.
Is it fine if I use the super chat function here and donate $100, or is it Cash App better? I want to support y'all since I got a new job with a good salary and been watching y'all. I appreciate the support. Either way is fine, but I mean, if you really want to know, YouTube takes 30% and Cash App don't take nothing. So or Cash App, yeah, Cash App basically doesn't take anything. So Cash App is better, but um, super chats are fine.
Congratulations on the new job.
Yeah, congrats on a new job, fam. I wonder what you do. Uh, let's see. Questions. Next one. Um, are frame and pin the same thing? They could be. They could be, but generally I say frame when it's the forearm, and I say pin when it's glove. But I mean, boxing language is not universal.
Yeah, you frame to keep a guy in place in terms of like, preparing for a shot. I feel like pinning is almost like you're trying to take advantage of the balance.
Yeah, yeah, but you could. So say a guy, so like Shakur was pinning Oscar Valdez's high guard when he would stiff arm and hold like say one half of the shield to Oscar Valdez's head or shoulder. Like
Right.
I call that pinning too.
Okay.
Now you could I mean but I can see how you can call it a frame as well. I mean it's really
Yeah.
doing the same shit.
Yeah.
Um, T word answering questions for us. Your core is always engaged, but you shouldn't overwork with it with ab exercises. Gotcha. Yeah, that's gonna be subjective.
Yeah.
Strength,
Know your body.
yeah, know your body. Strength and conditioning coach might say either or. Um, yeah. Uh, okay. Welcome. I see you still on that Southpaw advantage thing. I wonder. I mean, aside from familiarity, why do people think that Southpaws have an advantage? It's just a mirrored image, man.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure either. To be brutally honest.
Welcome. One, get you some headphones and come explain if you're still here. I know I'm kind of far behind. I put the link in the chat. Or anybody else who thinks Southpaws have an advantage over Orthodox fighters, come on in and explain. Shit. Why no one was able to beat Joe Kazaki? Was he that good? I never hear anybody mention him. Yeah, of course he was good. Yeah, of course he was good. A lot of criticism that Kazaki gets is just fighting all the biggest quote unquote names later on in their career instead of while they were in their primes. Everybody that you heard of the most was well past their prime when Kazaki beat them, except for somebody like uh, Jeff Lacey. He whooped his
That was
ass
an
in his
ass whooping.
prime. Yeah, that was a super ass whooping. Uh, but yeah, the Roy Jones, the B Hops, all that shits. Obviously, they were past their prime. What type of dog you got? I got an American Akita. He's still a puppy though. He's 8 months. How ready is Keyshawn Davis for top lightweights? Skill, skill wise, he's ready. Um, intangibles, experience wise, maybe not. Not sure till they get in there, man. What is the best style that is easy to shoot and guard from? I mean, that's there
That's
is no best style, but
that's kind of
um,
blanketed.
yeah, there's no best style. But I mean, now from my experience, the easiest guard to shoot and guard from is a high guard. I mean, that's the nature of a high guard. So, say you're just shooting out a jab, you're shooting out a jab from your chin, and you're bringing it back to your chin. So, I mean, it's just A B type thing.
So to be offensive from,
Well, he said to shoot and guard from. So it's like, I mean, I could shoot a jab, bring it right back on my chin, or shoot a jab from my chin, bring it back to my chin. I can shoot across from my chin, bring it back to my chin. It's like the most rudimentary, you know what I'm saying, guard to have to, you know what I mean, just to
yeah,
stay within fundamentals and boxing basics. But would I call it the best guard? I mean, everybody that knows the channel knows I wouldn't call it the best guard.
yeah. I'm not a high guard's problematic because again, stay in center line. So when you stay on the center like that, you're open to literally everything. Versus when you get to when you adjust your head slots, you're over your back foot. There's certain punches that you can and can't be hit with. When on the front, there's certain punches you can and can't be hit with. That's why center line needs to serve as a bait to make the transitions. But if you can't read a guy's offense or too skilled with probes and everything else like that, it's kind of dangerous. So I guess just play around with it, drill, and then see what you feel is comfortable for you.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on high level guys with good fundamental technical footwork but poor balance or vice versa? That's not even possible.
Yeah,
So you can't have good fundamental technical footwork but poor balance, and you can't have uh good balance without good fundamental technical footwork. So yeah, that's impossible. So example, Boo Boo Andrade or Juan Manuel Marquez. Holy shit, bro. Boo Boo Andrade and Marquez don't have good balance. But look, so Andrade, I kind of understand what you're trying to say. Um, but he's not using good fundamental technical footwork when he gets off balance. He's going beyond fundamental technical footwork when he's off balance.
yeah. That's typically when he's offensive, right?
Yeah, when he's offensive, he might like his punches are gonna come from unorthodox angles, and he might do something weird while loading. So say it's a lead hand uppercut or some shit like he likes to throw. He might do something weird to load it and then make it like sort of a leaping uppercut or some crazy shit like that. And yeah, that's
Yeah,
definitely not fundamental technical footwork.
yeah. That
That's
that's
he,
those are
he
base issues.
yeah, he goes outside of good fundamental technical footwork. That's how he becomes off balance.
And Marquez, I gotta see an example of that.
Yeah, man. Weren't we just watching some shit about Marquez on IG, or was that somebody else?
Could have been
I could
somebody else.
have. I thought you sent me some shit.
No, I don't think so.
You sure? Because it was something about combination punching.
Oh, in that regard, yeah, I
Yeah,
brought
yeah,
him
yeah,
up.
yeah.
I brought him up. Yeah, I mean, but for him to be that skilled, that's why I'd have to see what that an example of him being off balance because to be that effective as a counter puncher, that is
Yeah.
your base has to be underneath you.
Yep. Yep. And then the way he shifted weight to his front foot and threw the combinations off his front foot. That's
Yeah,
all. That's all balance. Yeah.
so
Uh.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Breaking down film. Is there a champion you would cherry pick to box? Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Who would it be, and how would you fight him? No, there's not. Look, even in the four belt area, bro, area, even in the four belt era, all the champions are good, bro. All the champions are good, and I was just saying how my shit is all off now. so, so nah, man, not really. But the spirit of the question, who do I think is the worst champion? Is that Chris? Would you say that's the spirit of the question?
I mean, what like the weakest prey? If you had
You're
to
right,
pick one,
right.
I mean, I wouldn't call anybody weak. I'm not.
Nah,
I don't,
look, like again, even in the four belt era, man, that's four people out of like 2,000. That's the top four out of 2,000 in each weight division. So bro, you're not really fucking with them, man.
yeah, we're not. We're not here to call anybody bums or anything just because we nitpick skills and stuff like that. Like that by no means, gives us free reign to believe that because of what we know, we're just gonna pull up on these fighters and just hand them their ass cheeks. Like that's just not
Yeah,
how.
I hope nobody thought that was possible, man. Please don't think
Yeah,
that's possible. You're gonna get beat up.
yeah. Drilling the system and then having knowledge or thinking you have the knowledge like that. They're two totally. And then when you start dealing with the best of the best, you're dealing with guys that know and they drill.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
sound like an ass whooping to me.
yeah.
I'm good. Again, I had options. I still do. Now I
Yeah,
got even more options.
you're going viral for the wrong reasons if you do
Right.
anything like that.
Oh man. I challenge him to a wrestling match. At least the small guys. Nah, man, I don't want no smoke. Um, who is your favorite fighter other than Floyd and why? Bro, and I gotta ask you a question. Why do you think Floyd is my favorite fighter?
I can't even say I have a favorite. I do have favorites, but like just having that one end all be all, you know, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I'm just wondering why it's gotta be why I gotta have a favorite and why it's gotta be Floyd. Like, what the fuck is that? What's that about?
I mean, we do appreciate his skill sets, so maybe that's why he
Yeah,
does seem to have, on his historically, the most effective defensive system for the most part. So that could be why.
mm, yeah. When you're reviewing film or for a particular fighter, do you first gather clips of flaws you already noticed, or do you just watch a few recent fights with an open view? So, um, I watch relative fights. So, you know what I'm saying? If it's open stance, then I'm watching open stance fights. If it's closed stance, I'm watching the most recent closed stance fights. Yeah, I'm not. again, I don't put individual fighters' skill sets to memory like that. So I'm always just watching film first and watching those most recent relative fights. So yeah, most of the time I don't remember their flaws and or their strengths and weaknesses. I mean, I guess that's part of the whole fandom thing. I always tell you guys I'm not really a fan of fighters, man. I respect and admire boxing skill, but
Yeah.
I would say so. But if I was a fan, then maybe I would put that shit to memory. You know what I'm saying? Because I like somebody's I don't know, I guess skills more than another person's skills. But I don't really think of it like that. I mean, obviously, I recognize that some people have more skills than others, but I don't really think of it like, well, uh, this is my favorite, or I'm a fan of this guy because of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sometimes, like when you really get to study the system, it can really kind of suck the wind out of, you know, trying to gravitate towards one fighter or the other because you're
Right.
looking at things objectively. So there's never something that just, you just gravitate to. You just want to, you pay attention to the actual base and the framework of the art of boxing. And then with all these different boxers, you see how, they apply in their own way, um, you know, the framework of boxing itself. And you're gonna have boxers are gonna have missing pieces. They're gonna have a lot of it. You're gonna have those that have some of it, like 20%. And you have those that have like 90%, of the framework of boxing down to the T. So, but that's really all that's important. It's hard to be a fan when you're looking at the art form and not necessarily just the fighter.
Agreed.
Hey, gentlemen, can I pose a question real quick?
Yeah, of
It's,
course.
Yes, sir.
yeah, it's just and I know this isn't this term isn't used as heavily as it was before, but it's still used. Slick boxer, slick boxer. Do you guys have like a definition that you guys think of when you think of a slick boxer? And do you think some people were labeled that when they weren't actually slick boxers?
um,
That might be a loaded question, but
yeah, obviously. Um, I, for me personally, I don't really have a definition. A slick boxer isn't really a thing for me personally.
okay.
But but I think I understand. Mute your mic though for me, Jay.
Oh, you still getting that? Okay.
Yeah, I think I understand what people are getting at. I mean, I think slick boxer to most people means uh basically smooth transitions between offense and defense, meaning slipping, counter punching, leading with power, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And just having slick ways to get in and out of scoring offense while being defensive. That's what I think people mean like as slick. But I mean I could be wrong, but I never really looked at it like that. I never really looked at boxing like that. Um who's been labeled slick or have people been labeled slick and they're not? I certainly think people have been labeled what I just described, or you know what I'm saying, and they really weren't that. But I mean, to be more specific, I mean, yeah, a lot of people label all black fighters as slick boxers, which is ridiculous. But Chris, you got something on it?
I mean, I agree, and also, I feel like people take these names like a boxer puncher,
Hmm.
brawler. What are some of the other ones? but I mean, Swarmer. They try to take these names and then like have a hard subset of skills and techniques that have to belong to these to whatever category a fighter is in. And again, when you start to really analyze the system of boxing, you start to understand having one particular style is just a really futile effort. It's not really a smart thing to do. You really just want to be educated on the system of boxing altogether. So it's not about having a favorite way of fighting. Oh, I always want to come forward. Oh, I always want to circle around the ring because depending upon your opponent, it's always going to be like a moment to moment adjustment. There's gonna be a moment, and that's why I don't say, oh, because of this fighter, you got to fight this certain way. There are gonna be moments against that fighter that you're just gonna have to make the adjustments. So within a moment, you may need to use lateral motion. So people may say that's being slick. In another moment, you're gonna have to come forward, and you're gonna have to start utilizing your offense. That we'll say that's a brawler or whatever. But I mean, it doesn't work that way. Boxing doesn't work that way. When you really analyze it to the core, that's not how things get down.
Yeah, big facts. Do you watch MMA? Chris does. I don't.
A little bit. I used to watch a lot of it.
Eventually, I'm probably gonna get into at least watching it. I think I don't know. We've talked about it before. It's principles and all types of combat systems that can be applied to boxing, and it's better to know than not know. If someone was looking to learn the basics of boxing, what should we look for in a gym? Shit. Well, um, it's probably gonna sound fucked up, but um, emptiness. Available coaches and not a lot of people. So somebody could give you some one-on-one training and not just teaching a whole fucking 20-person class at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Barely paying attention to anybody.
Look at how they go about drilling. Look at how they go about practice. Are people at the gym just pretty much doing whatever and hitting a heavy bag, and then they go from that heavy bag to another bag, and they go to pads? Is that their MO? Or even if they are going to bags, they have, a coach or two that's giving these fighters um, a certain drill that they have to use on the heavy bag. All right, just stick to the jab for 3 rounds, and they're watching. They're actually paying attention to what these fighters are doing. They're correcting them, and just analyzing how interactive they are with their fighters. And how are they teaching a system? Are they too ingrained on, just teaching a certain move? Are they receptive? That's the biggest one, because you definitely don't want to have a coach that's just going to think their way is the best way, because that's not, again, how things work, because then they're going to be blind to certain elements about boxing, and they're not going to really care to learn it, because that's not how they feel they want their style to look like. And again, they're only hurting the fighters when they do that. So are they too overly prideful? That's another thing to look at. So
Mm. Which fighters would you recommend a beginner to watch, fundamental speaking? I mean, a fighter that still relies heavily on fundamentals. Maybe somebody like Errol Spence, Dimitri Bivol. Well, actually, you know what, man? I would probably rather you look at footwork and technical form of footwork first before anything else. Um, so if you minused out his hands, maybe somebody like Shakur Stevenson, whose footwork is is phenomenal.
Yeah, because I'm not a big fan of how Bivol goes about his footwork at times.
Yeah, yeah, but he's still. I was just speaking on fighters that rely on fundamentals more so than others, but are still at the highest level.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree. I think it can help to start in pieces,
Yeah,
um, and start with building blocks like footwork, like you said,
yeah,
and then analyzing the do's and don'ts of footwork, and then you just
yeah.
keep building from there.
I would always start with footwork. Always, always start with footwork. But like I said, man, don't pay attention to the top half of his body. But yeah, watch Shakur Stevenson's footwork. If you pay attention to the top half, you're gonna be way ahead of yourself.
Yeah.
um, oh, the key distinctions between the key distinctions of the Dempsey roll versus the peekaboo, bruh, bruh. Chris, you got something on this?
I am not. I'm vaguely know about what the Dempsey roll is looked at. I mean, but that's kind of vague. With all due respect.
Um, so the peekaboo is a what do I want to call it? I want to call it a tactic. A peekaboo is a tactic that I don't put much weight behind, man. I think it worked very well for one guy with a certain degree of extreme athleticism. So I mean I don't even yeah I never even looked into studying it that tough. Tricks, what up, man?
What's up, fam? How you
How
doing?
you? I'm cool, man. Just answering some questions.
I work for
It's good, Triggs.
Tyson. What's up, man? I work for
What?
Tyson and work for Floyd Patterson too. I think I work for both of them.
Yeah,
Jose
yeah.
Torres was another one.
But it don't work for him because it's built for somebody that's like short, trying to get on the inside. He is a short heavyweight, but he's not the shortest heavyweight. So I don't
I mean, to be honest, man, I don't really like it.
yeah, me neither.
I you know, I think the positioning is repetitive, and I don't really like anything that's repetitive. You know what I'm saying? Okay,
Yeah,
your head is going from side to side. What happens when somebody tries to control your head?
that's
What
the
happens?
first thing
What?
I do.
Yeah, it's the first thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna reach my hand out. I'm something non-committal, and I'm gonna try to stop that head movement. And then I'm gonna lean my glove on your face to one
That's
side, and then to blind you for one,
yeah,
and hold your head there. Then I'm coming with that backhand.
that's food for my style. Like what's your name? That's exactly what I'm doing. Keep my hand out all day and shit is gonna be listening. But I want to ask you, what's your name? Do you be on your Instagram? Like, do your DMs be open? Do you respond? Cause I
Me?
be having, yeah,
Hey, yeah, man. You can hit me up anytime. That's how me
yeah,
and Chris talk all the time.
yeah. Cause I be wanting to ask you stuff outside of what's your name. I be having
Yeah,
questions and
fam.
stuff.
Yeah, go.
So
Yeah, I'm on that.
like usually when you stream, it be like I'm either coming back from work and I'll be tired, or I'm coming back from the gym and I'll be tired. So sometimes I get on, but then I get off.
Yeah, anybody that wants to reach me the quickest, man, it's gonna be on Instagram because I'm gonna get the
But
notification, and I'm usually available to respond right away. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I am at work. Sometimes I'm too damn busy, but but most of the time I'm on there responding.
Yeah. Uh,
Uh, what do you think the best guard is? There is no best guard.
Yeah, you can't look at skills in the absolutes.
Nah, there is no best guard. That shit all works in certain or all works the best in certain situations.
uh,
I think what people do when they look at fights and they study, when you understand that absolutes don't work, you'll be able to appreciate the adjustments that fighters take in a fight. You'll also
Yeah,
be able to see what
Ham-
adjustments they are lacking that
right,
causes them to lose in a fight. Because what Jem said before, repetition is dangerous. That's true. You can't just keep showing the same face every time or doing the same thing every time.
right. Even if
It's
you're
a part of
moving,
timing.
yeah, right.
Right.
I mean, especially if you're moving, because shit, you might be moving your head into something hard. Pause.
I mean, that's how Mike got caught when he fought against Lennox.
Right.
What was it? Lennox threw a 1-2. Mike tried to slip out to the front foot and got caught with the right hand.
Uh huh.
I remember. I know what you're talking about. This was another question I had to ask. I just thought about it. What's the name? So you ever seen? I know. I'm sure you've seen how Floyd hits the bag, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen how Crawford he hits the bag similar? Those are only two people I've seen pretty much hit the bag like that. I mean, it's I'm
Well,
trying to think, but
what do you mean?
so what's the benefits to hitting the bag? How they do? Because I don't see like
Nah, see, I look now that I can't. I don't. Again, it's something else I don't put to memory. I don't remember. I've seen them hitting the bag, but I don't remember exactly the nuances of them hitting the bag. You
it's
know what I mean?
different.
So what?
Yeah.
What? Can you describe it?
Floyd, he it's like everything is so one thing that I'm taught is when I'm on the bag, my coach always tells me get full extension on my punches. But I see a lot of fighters they don't be on the bag getting full extension on their punches. Like it's a lot. I don't know if it's just how it looks when I'm watching them, or is it my arm length that I don't what's the name, but it looks like they're not getting full extension when I'm watching them. So basically, what they do is they be pretty close and they're like touching the bag. It's like they're tapping it.
Oh yeah. Okay,
Floyd
I
do.
got you.
He only really get hard when he go for the body when he hits body shots, but he'll be touching, and it's like they build a rhythm on the back. So they'll throw
Yeah.
like everything like just smooth, like everything just it just comes out 1-2, 1-2, a quick movement, like a slip or something, a right hand, like they'll practice like a combination, but it'll be slow. And then Crawford sometimes he'll just tap, like he'll just tap it, tap it, tap it, tap it. Then
Yeah.
he'll start changing the rhythm, going hard. It's
Well,
like
yeah.
different. It's different than how most people will be on the back all out. And I notice when I do it, like my punches, like I think they get a little sharper by me practicing that.
Hmm.
I don't.
Well, look.
I also
So,
know if you knew something about it.
well, not well. Only thing I know about that is because I, I mean, we did something. I did. I used to do something similar. So, only thing I know about that is in a real fight. I mean, shit. What would again repetitiveness? What do you want to do, fam? You want to change up the speed on your punches. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? So, shit. Sometimes you want to probe a shot. Sometimes you want to do variating things. And so I think that's what they're just practicing on the back, changing up the speed of their punches, changing up the strength of their punches, and then going in. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like every other shot or whatever,
yeah,
whatever pattern they choose. And probably they both change up the pattern.
yeah,
So I think they're just doing it, as or just they're just mimicking as real as it would be on a bag in a real fight. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Chris, you got something on that?
No, I mean I do the same thing. And what it does feel allows me to get more flow on the punches because I'm practicing being able to transition with the weight transfer, like you said, because I know what you're talking about, Trigg. So like
yeah,
Floyd will throw a 1-2-3. The 1-2 won't be hard, but the three to the body, hook to the body, will have some oomph on it. But that 1-2 is to practice. I would say getting into position to get that three.
Could be
So
that.
being able to
Yeah. Could be
practice,
that too. Yeah.
yeah, being able to practice your offensive positioning on the bag can definitely help. Practicing your probes, having a soft style of offense helps to not feel like you always have to hit a guy with your hardest shot. There are drills for that when you want to practice being able to put your whole weight into a punch. But the most important thing is to be able to put yourself in the position to get that punch going. So that's the
Yeah.
best thing I can think of.
Yeah. Earlier we was talking. Well, I was talking a little bit about committing and non-committal punches. Um, I give you an example of like somebody like Virgil Ortiz, who we just saw. That dude, man, everything's 100%. Everything's 100%. That motherfucker throws everything with all his might and all that shit. And as you can see, even against somebody like McKinson, he was able to outposition him because Virgil's shots are always as hard as they could be. You know what I'm saying? And get that check hook in there from time to time. Pivot out when Virgil throws them hard ass backhands. You know what I mean? So I think that they practice a bunch of shit that we talked about. I'm natural. Okay. I'm a natural southpaw in sports. It's not just positioning. It's not just positioning thing. It's also the way the mind is naturally wired. Hard for straight laced folks to pick up on. um, I hear that. I hear that. And appreciate the super chat, Elder Dragon. By the way. Um, but boxing isn't something that's naturally wired. Boxing is hard for people to pick up on. So I think if so, say if you're in like the Cuban amateur system where all they see is open stance fights the majority of the damn time, especially if they're orthodox fighters. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just a whole bunch of southpaws in that system. So if you're learning boxing while learning in the open stance at the same time, I think it's just the same, bro. I don't know if anybody's wired to naturally box. And anybody who says they are, I probably never boxed before. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not really natural to do. Like your guard, your stance, it's not exactly natural. Uh Triggs, I know you could speak on that.
Oh, if he's trying to say like looking fundamentally proper, like naturally, like stepping into boxing, I don't think so at all. I think
Right.
it's like impossible. It isn't natural. I remember learning my stance. I'm like, so like keeping yourself bladed, like that's not a natural position that your body's just gonna adjust to. Keeping your shoulder towards somebody, that's
Right.
not something like you're
Nah,
naturally
so that's
gonna keep
that's
yourself
just
square.
well, Triggs, that's basically how I answered him, but he's saying that southpaws have an advantage because of something hardwired in your brain. But so just what I'm saying is none of what we're talking about is natural, like what you're saying. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So it doesn't really matter southpaw or orthodox. It just like the familiarity matters. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? If you learn boxing and if you're an orthodox fighter and you're learning boxing, your partners that you're learning box with is a southpaw, you're not naturally you're gonna be hardwired to fight a southpaw. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You're gonna be familiar with fighting southpaw. So I don't think it has anything to do with whether something's natural or unnatural to a southpaw or to an orthodox fighter. I think it's just training and familiarity because none of it is really natural in boxing. I hope that answered the question and I wasn't just babbling or rambling on. Chris, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. I mean, it's the whole point of drilling, because nothing is actually natural. There's no person that's gonna walk into a gym and all of a sudden they just have this, world class aptitude to be able to box. It's all about drilling. There are a lot of guys that have skill sets that are incredibly flawed, that are high level fighters. That's based upon what they have or have not drilled. So I wouldn't say it's a natural aptitude.
Yeah. Fred the man, appreciate the super sticker, fam. Much love. Questions.
What was y'all looking up Mikey Garcia counterpunch for? What you was looking that up for?
Oh, um,
Somebody
one
was
of
talking about
yeah
how
in the chat.
Mikey defended
Yeah,
against a jab to the body using a gazelle hook.
yeah. He used so he tucked so orthodox versus orthodox.
Yeah.
He tucked the elbow in, the back elbow in for the jab to the body. Um, so his weight is on his lead foot. Then he used like a gazelle hook, or I think it was a gazelle hook with the lead hand. Like, yo, yeah, that shit is beautiful, but that shit's dangerous as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Body jab or stab jab cross. It was lights out for Mikey.
Or you fainted,
Right.
then you go to
Oh
two.
man, even worse. Let's see. Yeah, thoughts on Paul Butler? Again. I'm sorry. I don't put individual fighters' skill sets to memory. So I'm pretty sure. Have I seen him fight? I'm pretty sure. But man,
I actually don't know who that is.
yeah, and he isn't Paul Butler. Let me look it up real quick.
I'm not familiar with him.
I might not know him by name. Search.
Yeah, I don't. Matter of fact, looking at his box rec, I probably didn't see him fight yet. He's bantamweight. He's 34-2 with 15 knockouts. He just most recently beat Jonas Sultan, the dude that beat Carlos Caraballo on one of these undercards.
That's why he had the last emoji.
Yeah, not familiar. JG, appreciate the super chat. Much love. I thought he was your favorite because you're making more videos on him than anyone else. You talking about Floyd? I mean, the channel is about skill. So, I mean, I think Floyd Mayweather's the most skilled boxer of all time. Just a complete fighter through and through. If you
I
look at his
agree.
whole body of work. Um, what can we do as boxing fans to help make this sport bigger other than buying and watching the fights? Good question.
Yeah.
Good question, Chris. You got some thought on that?
Um, for those that may not know much about the sport, take the time to learn about the art form, not the business. And for those that do know something, it always helps to engage in conversation and forums to be able to educate people. about your perspectives and start having the conversations about the skill sets of boxing, then at that point, it can help to be more educated on what it is that you're watching, allow people to have more of a will to call out seeing the best fight the best instead of seeing the same old happening because you know what you're looking at. So definitely helps to just be more educated on the art form itself.
Yeah. Yeah, Gabriel, I see you if you're still in here. I know I'm far behind in this shit. You could definitely, actually, you know what? I'm probably gonna call it a wrap at some point here soon. Um, Gems, what do you think about Xander Zayas? He's a sharp motherfucker for a 19-year-old. Yeah, that's what I think about him. He's really good for his age. I've already got a rising star breakdown on him. Yeah, he's really good for his age. I think he's getting better and better. Um, he's improving on his flaws, and his mental lapses. I remember one of them was he was definitely trying to rush things. You know what I'm saying? I remember a fight he got gassed trying to get a guy out of there, and it took him like 2, 3 rounds to recover. So he's definitely learning he's learning every fight. So all of my rising stars, I expect them to be champions. That's what I think about him. Elder Dragon, appreciate the super chat again, fam. My theory is Cus D'Amato trained Tyson to become champ. During Cus' time, Ali was champ. Tyson's peekaboo eats up fighters going backwards. Mm, uh,
The
okay.
way he came in was similar to how Joe Frazier came in.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure you could just say it eats up fighters going backwards. Um, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that because what if you're going backwards with a stiff jab? What if you're going backwards with a stiff, controlling, pinning, probing, feinting jab? I mean, and what if you got good footwork to match with that jab? You can pivot out and around Mike Tyson. I mean, what you know what I mean? Can't say I completely agree, but I kind of understand what you're saying. Tuition just found you on IG. Keep up the good work. Appreciate that, Izzy. Appreciate the super chat, fam. Much love. Have you studied Roy Jones foot feints? He has some of the best from what I've seen. I mean, I got a breakdown on Roy Jones. I don't know if he has. Roy Jones is just simply the best athlete boxing has ever seen. That's what I want to say about Roy.
What we put Mike Tyson probably second to that.
Or maybe Manny Pacquiao.
Definitely be top three.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I was saying about the peekaboo, bro. Like, damn, watching Mike Tyson do the peekaboo, it's like, man, who you can't really copy this shit. How you gonna copy this? I mean, he's moving ridiculously fast. He has ridiculous hand speed. His upper torso is ridiculous. His core is incredible. To do it that, you know what I'm saying, to move side to side that damn quick with the coordinated footwork with it. Like, bro, I'm not about to copy this shit.
Yeah, then you got to check the utility of the actual system at the highest level, where you
Right.
start fighting, higher level competition. And with all due respect, it had its merits, but
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Vander
A lot of
Holyfield
a
took the
lot of people
fight.
blame that. They try to blame it on you know, his out
Out
the
of ring
ring shit.
issues.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was more than that. That shit just wasn't gonna work for forever.
Holyfield fought Mike in his predominantly preferred range, and Holyfield took control of that.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, Elder. I mean, athleticism was just ridiculous, man. I think his hands. I don't even think you could give me an argument that would say somebody was a better athlete than Roy Jones Jr. Man, that dude he was ridiculous. Cheat code type shit. I mean, he did so many things wrong that turned to be knockouts. Shit. So I don't know, man. Roy Jones was that dude, man. He was. I mean, that's how I kind of got into boxing for real, for real. Now I got introduced to boxing in the Tyson era, but Roy Jones was like, he piqued my interest in boxing just because he was just amazing to watch. Um, the whole the whole turn over the glove or thumbs up debate. It don't matter. I again, we talked about this shit too. I heard that thumbs up generates more power and keeps you or has less injury involved. I saw that shit on some program that was showing the science of boxing. But of course, we've all seen it both ways. We've all seen knockouts both ways from it. You got a thought on that, Chris?
No, I mean, no. I'd say try doing them. Just have them both.
Shit, I'll be forgetting my own. What is my IG? Is it boxing.gems?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Put it in the comment section. I don't have a favorite boxer. Uh, yeah, facts. T word. Thumbs up's more comfortable for me. I got a great question. What the hell is wrong with Tiafimo? The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. So
uh,
I think that's all the answers you need right there, bruh. Look at his father.
wait, is he's fighting this weekend, right?
Saturday, yep.
You gonna be there for it? I
Yeah, I
mean,
was.
the stream.
Yeah, of course. I
Okay.
was actually thinking tomorrow, along with that whole, you know, showing everybody who has a O in these goddamn divisions that need to fight. I was actually thinking of trying what you've been talking about and pulling up some footage of his opponent and just commenting on it.
Oh, from that one channel.
Don't from any channel that has it. I mean, I know he's not a popular fighter, and he's not
Yeah.
even a highly ranked fighter. So I just wanted to, pick apart his game a little bit. But that'll be tomorrow's stream.
Okay.
But yeah, Saturday, yeah, it's fight night. You know what it is. Um,
I
Tio
do
needs a
wish we could break
therapist.
down knockout compilations because I think they're short and they're a mixture of like so many different pieces. So
Well,
maybe that might
send
work.
yeah. Send me one. So okay, all right. So I kind of don't want to do multiple videos like that because I
Right,
don't know if they'll each amount. So say they are strikes. I don't know if they'll each amount to one, or does the video just amount to one itself? Does the stream itself just amount to one, or does each video amount to one? So I'm trying to just test the waters. You know what I mean?
right, yeah. No, I mean it's your channel. I don't want to do anything that's gonna. I'm trying to figure out what could be engaging so that people can see how we break it down
Yeah,
like right in that immediate moment.
yeah. Teal versus Regis. Who you got? I'm not. So his fight Saturday isn't even really going to tell us a whole lot about what he's going to do at 140 because his opponent is not, his opponent isn't great. So I would never pick Tio over Regis until I see him fight somebody that that has proven to be amongst the top, or at least uh, a gatekeeper to the top at 140. So I wouldn't pick against Regis.
Who do Ramirez is beat?
Who?
Um,
Or what'd you
was
say?
it Pedraza? Pedraza and Ramirez fought at 140, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. I was just
Well,
thinking out loud, like what kind of
uh,
options he has.
oh, who?
My
Tio?
bad. Yeah, like before he fights a top dog at 140,
Well,
unless they just want to.
they got to be top ranked because of this bullshit. But
Yeah, I have no idea. Then
he's
I'm
not
not
gonna.
privy to that
Yeah,
stuff.
no, no. Both Pedraza and Ramirez are top ranked. So is Josh Taylor. Um, I don't think Regis has a designated company anymore. I'm
Yeah, I
not
think he can
sure though.
float anywhere he wants to. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Gary Antoine Russell's PBC. Um, who else is up there? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think Josh Taylor. Does he have any visa issues because of his connections with that
Oh
one
fuck!
company?
Oh the fuck no, McKinahan or McKin, whatever the
Yeah.
fuck his name was. I don't know, bro. I definitely don't pay attention to that shit.
Hmm.
Um, Heavyweight division. Who you think will be the future king? I like Jared Anderson, man. I think I think he's developing along pretty well. Plus, he's everything they look for in like a media darling as well. Um, I think Frank is better technically skilled, and Jared Anderson is more complete. Jared Anderson has more wrinkles to his game, but Frank is definitely great at what he does. That Cuban amateur system is definitely strong within him. We talked about this earlier. Who do we like in the Ben versus Eubanks fight? I'm not really that interested, unfortunately. But with that said, unless he's weight drained, I favor the bigger guy, which he might be weight drained, whatever the catch weight may be.
Yeah. What does Eubank fight at? 68 or 60?
He's fought as high as 168, but I
Okay.
don't know what his official shit is now. Um, It's yeah, and Connor Ben is from welterweight. I didn't read what the catch weight was. I think matter of fact I
I
thought I
think it's
saw
157.
is it 157?
I think
Man,
so.
if Eubanks is a weight drain, yeah, I definitely favor Eubanks. Oh shit, my man's Gabriel. What's up, Gabriel? Uh, something up with your mic?
What it is, bro?
Oh, there you go. What's going on?
How you doing?
Chilling, man. Just some Q&A.
It's
Yeah.
good, Gabriel.
What's going on, brother? How are you?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, I've been in and out, but I've been seeing some pretty funny stuff as usual.
Yeah, of course.
Um, and some legitimate questions too.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. Anyway, I heard you guys were talking about what to look for when trying to. Somebody asked something about joining a gym, and
Yeah, you can answer that very well. Go ahead.
um, number one, you're right about if it's too deep up, forget it. Right, you're not getting real quality coaching, right? Because
If it's what?
if it's too deep up, it's too many people.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Facts.
Um,
I seen that shit. It's ridiculous.
but at the same time, that's kind of there's a flip coin to that because why is it so empty, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's another thing. Like, yeah, gotta
That's
be careful about that
gotta
shit.
be careful, right? Um, but
Hopefully, it's new.
right, and I mean, but at the same time, there's guys that I train that also train at other places just simply because they get good sparring in these other spots, right? Like if
Hmm.
you actually really want to compete, you need to get a lot of good looks, right? And I don't get mad that they go sometimes to other spots, like you know, I don't I don't really give a shit. Like I'm like, oh, I'm your trainer, like fuck out of here. Like you pay me,
Right,
you good, you know what I
right,
mean?
right.
You know, I don't really care. But they usually come to me for the more nuanced shit. Like they want to see like the technique, but they go to their spots because there is a lot of gyms with that I can't provide, right? That I can't provide such high level sparring and competition that they can see on a regular basis. So it's kind of sometimes it's just you got to get lucky, man. Sometimes all the chips are there, all the pieces fall into place, and you're in the right spot. And sometimes you're not. You won't really know unless you just kind of get your feet wet with the spot.
Hmm.
So it's kind of a luck of the draw like that. I don't know if there's a formula to really say, okay, this is how you find the best spot
Yeah.
because
Well,
uh,
it should, and hopefully you have options in your area. Hopefully, it's
mhm.
just more than one gym that's available to you in your area. But if it's not, then it is what it is.
The last thing I want to say about that is that there's like what I call gym politics, right? Where um, you go into a spot and people and there's already like the quote unquote studs, and then everybody's trying to there's a lot of testosterone. They're not trying to be cool with the new people. They're trying to they look at them as meat, as food, and instead of trying to like help out. But then you'll have other guys who are more humble who actually you know even pros. I've seen some pros that are like humble, and they teach guys, and they teach them the nuanced stuff, right? And there's
Hmm.
others that are just dickheads that just want to, like I said, use them as food. So
Hmm.
it's not easy to find the right spot. It
Yeah,
really is.
you're at, hey, Gabriel, you're out of Florida, right?
Yeah, I'm in Florida.
Yeah,
South Florida, Miami.
he was asking if you train out of California.
No, that's far from me, man.
Oh, you're on Miami?
Yeah, I'm in Miami.
I'm over here in Melbourne.
No, that's further north. That's like Central Florida.
Yeah, I'm saying that's where I'm at.
Oh shit. Okay. You know what? I got my wife got family in right in Cocoa Beach.
Yeah, I think I'm familiar with that spot.
Yeah, it's a little. I think it's a little bit south up from Melbourne.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were in Texas for some reason. I don't know why. I think it was when Joseph was talking about trainers and stuff.
Yeah, I'm in South Florida. There is one pretty good spot.
Jo- when Joseph was was murdering local trainers.
Yeah, yeah.
What happened?
Remember that shit when Joseph Heron was on here? He was talking about local trainers that suck.
And then I was like, ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, Gabriel down there got offended. Like, well, hold on, motherfucker. That ain't everybody.
Hold up.
Right.
And he's not wrong that there's some people that like literally woke up one day and said, you know what?
Bruh,
I think I'm gonna start training people.
I know.
You know,
That shit
there's a
is
fucking
not.
lot of assholes like that.
Yeah.
Um, but but at the same time, there is a lot of guys that actually know a little something about the sport
Hmm.
and don't get high profile fighters, but it doesn't mean they don't know what they're talking about.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a luck of the draw, man. You don't know what you're gonna end up with, but you get. I mean, you're still gonna get a good sweat anyway. You're gonna find out what's going on, and if no, I guess the best way to find out is if you get punched in your grill and nobody tells you why. That's a good reason to get the fuck out of there. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody should be like, hey, listen, you know why you just got punched? Because you did this and this and this, right? That's how you learn. I was actually doing that with three guys yesterday. We were all alternating, right? And every time, one of them would end up with me, I would tag them and say, you know why you got tagged? Because you did this and this and this, right? That's how you learn, right? You somebody tells you the mistakes. Unfortunately, sometimes you got to get punched in the face to know what that mistake is, right?
Hmm.
But if nobody's telling you and people are just laughing, that's not the place for you.
Nah, that's stupid.
Or they say some vague ass shit like "keep your hands up." Like, all right, bro.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just stupid.
It is.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
You know how many people I've seen get sent to the shadow realm and their hands were firmly planted right to their face, bro?
Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
if you have any skill, you've seen a high guard before, and you know how to punch through it or around it. In between the gloves. I mean,
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
not rocket science.
You want to see how shit. Check out that breakdown I just brought out today. Shakur
Well,
is a
yeah,
fucking
yeah. I started
monster.
to.
He's a
I
fucking
started
monster at
watching
that
it,
shit.
but I didn't finish.
Yeah, man. Check it. Well, I basically just let it speak for itself in the end, with Shakur just killing high guards.
The high guard destroyer is
Yeah, I swear,
annihilating.
man. I swear that dude is nasty. Don't put up that high guard in front of that dude.
No, he's just. You know what he does? When he sees that, he starts getting hungry,
Hmm.
and he's gonna eat.
Hmm.
Like you can even see it in his eyes. He's like, "Oh, this. I like this.
Right.
I
Yeah,
like this."
we see why, man. Man, that shit is ridiculous. I wouldn't. Well, I see what the matchmakers are doing. Let me just say that.
it, it,
Trampler and Goodman, shit.
it works really well for him because of his control game. Because he starts to pin you and frame you, right? Sometimes he'll even give. Um, uh, he'll start even give you them slight. Huh?
He's talking about Gabriel Flores.
Oh,
Nah, we're talking to my guy Gabriel up here,
yeah,
panelist, sir.
me.
But nah, he was joking.
Yeah,
But go ahead,
Gabriel
go
thought
ahead.
those were fighting words, bro. It's like,
Right.
Yeah, right.
Hell no.
Like,
Go
wait,
ahead,
hold
Gabriel.
on, man. We got a internet rapper over here. Like, hold up. But anyway, what was it? Oh yeah, about uh, Stevenson's control game with the high guard. It's just he starts pinning your hands to your face,
Mhm,
and he just starts to attack you. And
mhm.
then when he, when he really starts feeling himself, when he starts putting those combinations together from the high guard, it's like,
Yep,
oh, it's bad.
yep. Yeah, that motherfucker sees a lot of high guards, man. I mean, to get that good at doing that shit, it's a lot
he
of people
loves that
giving him
2-3-2.
work. Yeah, a lot of people giving him work in the gym with a high guard. But shit, a lot of these damn opponents, that's what they rely on. That's what they default to. So good shit on his part. Oh, also, yeah, his. I mean, not to mention his body work for people in a high guard, bro. That
Hmm.
shit is ridiculous too.
Yeah, when he does that pin and then that rear hand
Hmm.
shot over and over and over again. And the
Like,
messed up part about it is there really isn't an answer because he kind of gives you a slight angle to take away one side of the one of your arms, and then he pins the other one, right? He pins you from the side that that he's moving to, so that he doesn't have to worry about the other side.
Yep.
Yeah, he
That's
just
that's what it's for. Control, guard manipulation.
yeah.
The kid is good, man. I don't look. So whenever people, I hate to bring this up again, but whenever people bring up Boots as such a you know great talent, I'm like, man, bro, I don't even think he's the best young guy. I think
No,
Shakur is the best young guy by far,
skill wise, yeah,
skill wise. Yeah,
yeah.
but
He he
I
he,
mean, don't
he
get me
puts it
wrong, Boots
together.
is up there. Boots is up there. He's probably number two. Yeah, he's probably number two as far as the young guys go. But
on the on the on the
man, I
on
think
the on the skill tip.
yeah.
I think Bam might be a little more skilled.
E. Mm, mm.
I mean, we're talking straight skills. I mean, that footwork is crazy.
Yeah, good. It's a good name.
That footwork
It's a
is,
good name. That's why I don't fuck around with these lists, man.
yeah, right.
I always forget somebody. Shit, I forgot Shakur earlier when we was talking about lead hands. It's like fuck.
That's
I
tough to
always
do.
think you got the right answer until someone else pops up with another one.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't think about that type of shit, yeah, you're not gonna come up with a very good list on the spot.
I mean, I think Stevenson um, does get the newish guy, because he's not that new anymore at this point, but the newish guy, um, he ranks number one as far as the skills right now for the new guys for sure.
Yeah.
Because it's not only that he does it all, is that he puts it together. He puts it together. I
Well,
don't.
the thing about it is, I think he ranks very highly as far as out of everybody. I think he's
Mhm.
I think he's easily top 10 in all of boxing. Period.
Agreed. He should
Fuck
be in
around, fuck
everybody's top
around.
10.
Yeah, as skill wise, yeah, fuck around, top five. I had to think about it though. Again, list,
Yeah,
and I'm not gonna think about it. So,
I don't want to either.
Bam versus Cool Boy, who wins? You talking about at least two weight classes apart? Yeah, at least two weight classes apart. So I favor the bigger guy, which is Cool Boy. Yeah, I'm done with the questions, y'all. Matter of fact, I'm about to call this shit a wrap. I'll be back on tomorrow, and then I'll
All
be
right,
back
Leo.
on for Tiafimo. his first fight back. Now, who else? Xander Zayas fights that night or Saturday night. Who else?
I like Zayas.
Yeah, me too. Uh, y'all are really overrating Shakur. Says who?
Oh boy.
Who are you? Anyway, um, all right, yeah, I'll be back on tomorrow. Uh, appreciate you, Chris, for chilling with me, doing this with me, man.
Oh, no problem, brother.
Gabriel, as always, much love.
No doubt.
Chat, much love for showing up. I thank everybody for the donations. Uh, see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
All right, y'all. Be easy.
All right.